Anthony Taylor blows the whistle, but again, despite the controversy surrounding the political matters around the Black Lives Matter campaign, we know that the chief executive of the Premier League, Richard Masters, has said that their endorsement is on moral and not political grounds, and so therefore we have the players taking the knee and then back on their feet. And the game begins with Manchester City breaking towards the edge of the Liverpool penalty area, but Van Dijk comes across like the absolute Rolls Royce that he is and takes the ball away from Gabriel Jesus and clears it away downfield.
Now that's incredible, John, because down the right-hand side, City, he's in. Jesus is in, he's got a yard on him, but he just seems to hold up because he knows Van Dijk's there. And Van Dijk didn't panic. It's so smooth.
But it was, wasn't it? It was like watching one of those car adverts, and it just... Van Dijk went into overdrive there, found the extra gear and took the ball away. So Manchester City against Liverpool. Liverpool in their first choice kit, the red with the white numbers. Of course, Manchester City here, sky blue shirts, white shorts and white socks. And here's Jordan Henderson trying to play a ball through for Mane on the edge of the area. But Manchester City are able to readjust and it's cleared away. And here's Eric Garcia. It's great to see him back. I must say, when I was here for the Arsenal match, Dion, and he was clattered into by his goalkeeper, Ederson, and we had a long stoppage before he was lifted onto the stretcher and taken away, the oxygen mask gone, off he went to hospital. It's great to see him back, having missed only 3 matches, and obviously the concussion protocol playing a part in that. But he's back alongside Laporte with Stones on the bench.
Yeah, and you know, when I first seen that collision, I thought, wow, he may have done something incredibly bad there. So great medical staff. Great decision to get him to the hospital as soon as possible. He got it checked and he's great to see him out there again.
And here he is, the 19-year-old. Challenge comes in on him from Mane. Then Garcia has to put in another challenge. Mane got there first, dinks it into the box towards Salah, but it bounces through to Ederson. So BBC Radio 5 Live. We have the commentary here with what we're calling the carpet of artificial crowd effects behind us as the ball's played through, but the offside flag is up against Gabriel Jesus, who pops it into the net in any case, but the flag was up early and it's a free kick to Liverpool. So here on 5 Live, as you can hear, the soundtrack, the crowd behind us. If you prefer, we have the commentary without that, just the bare floorboards, Dion, over on 5 Live Sports Extra, on digital radio or via BBC Sound. So you can choose, dear listener, which you prefer.
I'd probably choose the term taking it back to brick.
Yes, you would. Of course you would. Of course you would. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 0, and Liverpool take this free kick downfield, aiming for the ball out towards the far side to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Henderson receives it from him. Then Fabinho has got a fabulous goal against Crystal Palace last Wednesday night when Liverpool were in great form, just demolished Crystal Palace that night. Jurgen Klopp was absolutely purring about that performance as Liverpool bring it away from halfway inside their own half. Just seems again a crying shame that we're watching a match like this between the quality of these two teams behind closed doors, but that's the way it is. Van Dijk plays it forward, Salah with a shot, and it's saved by Ederson. It bounces out. Firmino with the shot from the angle, but he got no power on it really, and the shot was easily parried by the back-pedalling Ederson.
Yeah, it was a great effort as well from Salah. Lovely ball in from Van Dijk. And he came in from behind Laporte, came into his island on his chest. And as the keeper, he was about 8 yards out, and I think he just lifted over him. Great strike, great move, so sharp. Liverpool looked very sharp.
Manchester City 0, Liverpool 0. Dion Dublin with us, Premier League Golden Boot winner, England international. And we're sitting here in the low-level commentary position. The Manchester City substitutes are in the socially distanced, comfortable seats, just about 15 yards down in front of us. And here for Manchester City, Kyle Walker's pass goes beyond Laporte, and Laporte had to be very quick there to get there ahead of Salah, but he was. And now the forward ball from Rodri through the middle, a touch from Foden coming in from the right-hand side, tried to work it through on the edge of the box, as it's cleared away by Alisson, but Liverpool were able to deal with that, and Liverpool can come forward again with Andy Robertson to Sadio Mane on the halfway line, and then Wijnaldum gets his first touch of the match. Robertson goes for a cross-field pass, but that's easily intercepted by Mendy, the Manchester City left back, and the home team have the ball again inside their own half. Forward it goes to De Bruyne, who just spins a pass off to Mendy on the left-hand side, 5 yards inside Liverpool territory, and back it goes again to Laporte. I thought Pep Guardiola, in one of our interviews with him last week, was very honest about the difference between the teams this season. The first thing he mentioned was the fact that Vincent Kompany had moved on, and the injury to Laporte this season, which means he's played so little football, the City number 14, and I think that gives you an immediate idea of what he wants to do in the summer.
Yeah, it does. The backbone to the side, everything was off those two players.
Mendy playing it forward to Sterling with a touch, just a little heavy, and it was cleared away by Gomez on the edge of the penalty area. Remember the little to-do they had, Gomez and Sterling, at the end of the match at Anfield, which spilled over into the England matches the following week. So we'll keep an eye on those two out there. It was all everything was okay.
Are you stirring,
just about to say everything was all right, Dave, in the end.
They forgot about it until you said.
Yeah, I bet they had. Jesus. Now here's Firmino and gathers it for Liverpool back inside his own half. Pep Guardiola throws his arms in the air because of the way that his team lost possession. Long ball forward, down diagonally into the City right back area. Sadio Mane gets there first. Salah waiting in the middle. Firmino arrives again. The now big head Firmino, 25 yards out, a little more than that for Wijnaldum, turning, just rolling the ball to Sadio Mane. Runs it back towards the halfway line. The tiniest of little shoves from Mane goes down, free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, Foden was close to him there. Just any turn at all from Sadio Mane, just ushering him back, and he just got a bit too close, clipped his heels. Down he went.
So 0-0 and 6 minutes on the clock. Our second commentary of the day on 5 Live. We're also on the red button, by the way, tonight on your television. You can listen to the 5 Live commentary alongside the final score graphics via the red button, via the BBC iPlayer or the BBC Sport app. Just click on 5 Live final score. You'll continue listening to me and Dion, but you'll see all of those graphics. Match of the day tonight as well, with all of the highlights. 10:45 BBC One. Ball out of play for a Manchester City throw in front of the absolutely empty 3 tiers on that side of the ground. The huge Manchester City crest behind where Benjamin Mendy is holding the ball above his head. Here's the throw down the line for Sterling, against his old club, of course. Scored against them for the first time in the Community Shield at the start of this season. Now again Mendy back to Rodri. Now Gundogan pulls the ball back with his right foot, rolls a pass almost along the halfway line. Kyle Walker takes it on, but Liverpool are back in shape. Sadio Mane checking Walker, who has to go back in field, and actually in the end Eric Garcia goes all the way back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, and you know, Rodri's just seemed to have been dropped into the City side, and you'd never know that he's not long been here, the quality of the player.
Foden now on the right hand side, overlapping run from Walker up against Robertson. Good recovery from Robertson. Walker forced, even though he still has possession, giving it back towards the halfway line to Garcia. Now here is Aymeric Laporte again, who thought about finding Mendy, then pulls the ball back, then again back onto his left foot, and after all that he was in two minds about which way to go with the pass, and then he hit the pass probably 10 yards over the top of Mendy, out of play for a throw.
He's right on the centre spot, and he just tried to just chip it over Firmino and Salah. The first time it was on, and the second time it wasn't, and he tried the second time. So I like hearing the ball being passed. I like the boot to ball. It's a lovely sound. What the other sound is, I've no idea.
What is all that about? We're hearing what sound like fireworks or firecrackers going off outside the ground. I mean, are we safe to assume that is Liverpool supporters celebrating the title? Long pass forward through the middle to Sadio Mane. Mane turning the ball to the edge of the box, but the recovering Laporte got there, and still these fireworks go off, and the players, are not bothered by this. The match is continuing, and Manchester City have got possession inside their own half.
Yeah, they won't hear that, John. There'll be a noise in the background, but they'll just be concentrating on this game, getting the job done.
But it is a lengthy fireworks display that's been going on, if indeed that is what it is, and the ball's deflected out of play for a throw into Manchester City, level with the edge of their own penalty area. And Mendy gets it back, after taking the throw, high pass to the halfway line. Sterling jumped for it, didn't make any contact. De Bruyne though takes it on. De Bruyne now, it's 4 against 3 for Manchester City. De Bruyne to Foden, right side of the box, tackled by Robertson. De Bruyne with a shot, that's blocked by Liverpool. Then it's cleared away by Alisson, and then Rodri actually heads it back towards the edge of the area, pulled down by De Bruyne, in with a challenge on Fabinho. The two of them have collided there, and De Bruyne has stayed down. Referee Anthony Taylor has had a look. De Bruyne still down. Liverpool send the ball forward towards Sadio Mane on the left corner of the penalty area. Mane looking for support, and it does arrive from Alexander-Arnold. De Bruyne getting to his feet. Here's the cross in towards Mane, who headed it straight down into the ground. I think Mane and Salah got in one another's way there, and Mane's downward header bounced harmlessly wide.
Yeah, I think Salah was just in his eye line, and as the ball went over Salah's head, it just sort of confused Mane. We're just looking at pictures here of how Kevin De Bruyne got injured. I think he got his studs on the ball and then maybe a bit of an ankle twist or a knee twist, but he's up on his feet now, and that's good to see. What I have noticed is the two centre-halves of Man City just getting caught out a couple of times with a few balls in behind them, possibly playing the line a little bit too high.
Yeah, Garcia and Laporte. It was quite an awkward coming together between Fabinho and De Bruyne, and it just for a moment there, it didn't look great for De Bruyne because of the way that they both went in, and I think Fabinho stood on the ball as well, but he's okay. De Bruyne, he's back on his feet, and play is back underway. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 0. Manchester City defending the end to our left, as you will have probably seen now. Manchester City putting up at each end next to the goals in the front row of the stand a video screen with all of the supporters on. And now Gabriel Jesus carrying the ball forward, tried to slip it through the inside left position, but Gomez was able to come across and cut it out and prevent it from reaching Raheem Sterling. Gundogan again has a look over his shoulder and sees Firmino there, but then passes the ball straight to Alexander-Arnold, and Alexander-Arnold will stab it back to Gomez. So 0-0 the score. I mentioned a couple of the excellent high-tempo, high-octane games between these teams in recent seasons. Remember when Liverpool came here and won in the second leg of the Champions League tie the season before last as well, on the way to Kiev. But there has been the odd quiet one between them. I'm thinking of the 0-0 at Anfield last season. And certainly normally now in this sort of match, still in the early stages, you would have a great atmosphere inside this place for a match like this. So very, very different without the crowd backdrop. Gomez forward to Henderson, and the Liverpool captain Salah goes down, actually just collided with Mendy off the ball, but Henderson has taken it on himself. But he is dispossessed by Rodri, who went all the way with the Liverpool captain, and Manchester City looked to play it out from the edge of the area. Gundogan was put under pressure, and it needed a really important challenge by Laporte on Mane around about the penalty spot to take the ball away from Sadio Mane.
Had to get that one right. Sadio Mane was an inch away from that ball, but Laporte, that's what he does. He sees danger and he quashes it. Very, very good challenge.
Lost by Gundogan. I wondered whether he might have just been caught there, but there was no appeal from Gundogan.
Nah, great timing.
Yeah, Sterling now plays it to the left-hand side. De Bruyne is there. De Bruyne near the corner flag. Alexander-Arnold on the scene. De Bruyne goes past him, but with that movement showed too much of it to Fabinho, who just arrived on the scene and was able to clear it away for Liverpool.
Yeah, De Bruyne just dropping his left shoulder there in the right wing position there, showing a bit of pace.
Space for Mendy now on the left hand side for City. Here's the cross, it's gone right across the Liverpool goal, and even though at the near post Sterling was there, and arriving at the back post Foden, no one could get a touch, and the ball swept through the 6-yard box and out for... Now, did anyone get a touch? No, it's a Liverpool throw.
See, Mendy never ever refuses to put the ball in the box. Sterling did try to get across. I think it was Fabinho at the time. Let's have another look at this one. Yes, no, it was Van Dijk actually. Van Dijk did enough. If he'd have touched it, Van Dijk, it could have gone in the back of his neck, and Foden's at the far post, just a bit too strong for him. Yeah, but City have got Liverpool sort of penned in right now. I think
Foden just got a little touch on it, which is why it's a Liverpool throw. That was a reminder of, do you remember when he was at Monaco? Benjamin Mendy,
yes.
With the two full-backs, the crosses that they put in for Monaco, we've not really seen great evidence of that yet for him as a Manchester City player, Mendy. But a throw into Manchester City now after Liverpool lost possession, level with the edge of the Liverpool box. Still goalless. BBC Radio 5 live from the Etihad Stadium on a fair evening in July Here's Foden, takes it past Mane, went down, no free kick, and then Robertson is fouled by Foden, and it's a free kick to Liverpool.
A great little fake to play it down the line from Robertson. That was like a basketball player pretending to shoot, and then you get the guy up in the air and you just go past him. Good play. Foden was in the air, he couldn't get out of the way.
It's you in your last dance again.
That's last dance, yeah. Yes. Just throw that one in there.
Yeah. Amazing to think, isn't it? We're sitting watching this game in July.
It is crazy.
I don't know about you, Dion. My head is completely scrambled by all of them.
And days. What days? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's been non-stop since it resumed. Here's Alisson, and Liverpool goalkeeper hits a long free kick forward, but Walker's underneath that and just glances it back to his goalkeeper, Ederson, vying with one another to win the Golden Glove this season, with plenty of other competition as well. Gundogan under pressure from Firmino gives it away. Henderson leaves it for Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold to the edge of the penalty area, but runs into a nest of sky blue, and City come out with the ball with Gundogan. Now it's been raced forward. Rodri with a touch, but under pressure from Wijnaldum. Liverpool have it back. Van Dijk back to Wijnaldum. Now Mane on the left-hand side. Mane back to Robertson, and Liverpool go back into the centre circle again. So Liverpool, who've had that week's layoff for it all to sink in, back in action here, and their top scorer, Mohamed Salah, 21 goals for Liverpool this season, in possession on the right-hand side, and he passes it back towards the halfway line, where Gomez turns it infield towards Van Dijk. Seems to be a lot of momentum behind Jordan Henderson for the Player of the Year this season. Salah down the right-hand side, but Mendy held him off, just managed to manoeuvre himself in between the ball and Salah, and see the ball back to Ederson, who put it out of play on the halfway line. But I don't know about you, Dion, I still think that Virgil van Dijk, even though perhaps not absolutely hitting the magnificent heights of last season, has still had a very, very good season.
Yes, you could choose many players from these two players here that have been outstanding this season. The captain's been brilliant, Jordan Henderson, I've got to say.
Yes, and I suspect that how he was with the whole players together thing as well, I think will probably tip the scales in his favour. Here is Henderson playing the ball to the left-hand side. Such an important influence. Robertson swings the ball into the penalty area, but that's an easy catch for Ederson. And he quickly underarms it out. The Manchester City goalkeeper through the middle to Gundogan. Gundogan's pass to De Bruyne. First time touch, but Jesus had just strayed offside. The flag was up again, and in any case, Alisson made the block from his countryman.
That is close. Very, very close. I think it just shows if you take too much time. These players are so fit that if you take too much time on the ball, they're getting at you, they're in behind you. You know, the Firmino and Gundogan and all those kind of players, they're just right on your heels. If you're not at it, if you're not taking 1 and 2 touches, you will get caught on the ball.
That's Dion Dublin, sitting about probably 5 metres, I think, Dion, to my right-hand side.
We doubled up the distance just to be safe.
Yes, we have. DD double up.
There you go.
Here's Robertson on the left-hand side, and back it goes infield towards Fabinho, who scored a fantastic opening goal against Manchester City when the sides met at Anfield. Alexander-Arnold pokes it for the space there for Salah on the right-hand side. 3 Liverpool players in the box. In comes the cross from Salah, but it's cut out at the near post for Manchester City by Garcia. Here's a cross there again from Alexander-Arnold. Robertson has joined in, beaten in the air, headed back in by Wijnaldum. Robertson flicks it on, cleared away by Garcia, who got underneath it, and the ball bounces to the halfway line.
Yeah, just got caught with his arm in the air there. Laporte waiting for the linesman to put his flag up. It never came. Salah was in. You've just got to get yourself into a position so the ball's in front of you.
0-0. Manchester City and Liverpool, after in our earlier commentary. What a good win for Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, 3-0 against Tottenham. Firmino now through to Salah on the edge of the box, onto his left foot. Salah with a low shot, hits the post, bounces out to Mane, whose touch was a little heavy, and it took it away behind for a goal kick. Liverpool hit the post.
Yeah, it's a lovely little position for Salah to get into, just in front the back four. There he goes. I'm just watching the replay. He cuts inside into the D. He's now centre of the D, and he strikes the ball to the left of the keeper, hits the post, comes out to Sadio Mane, who possibly could have finished first time. Tried to take 2 touches and he got it completely wrong. Goes out for a goal kick.
Oh, just a matter of centimetres there. That was the same goal that John Stones made his goal line clearance from in the match between the sides last season that proved so pivotal in the end when they were separated by just the 1 point, 98 to 97 in the end. I know you can probably point to all sorts of incidents and such like, but it just feels like you're naturally drawn towards that incident in terms of one that might have settled things. In the end, Manchester City with the ball. Here's Laporte playing it towards Rodri, then back to Garcia, halfway inside his own half. 20 minutes played. We'll be having the drinks break very shortly. Pep Guardiola arrives on the edge of his coaching area. As you say, Dion, he's got that comfortable play of light brown, sort of grey trousers on. Jurgen Klopp in the grey and black baseball cap, just a few yards to his right in the white trainers, just getting themselves ready for their little team talk in the drinks break. Manchester City with the ball halfway inside their own half, but it is Liverpool who've come closest. The Salah shot that was saved, the follow-up from Firmino, and that Salah effort that hit the front of the right post as he looks. Walker with a cross-field pass high towards De Bruyne, who takes it on past Alexander-Arnold. De Bruyne claims that the final touch was off the Liverpool man. Referee Taylor says no, goal kick.
Yeah, he got it right. Trent Alexander gambled, got his touch, and it came back off Kevin De Bruyne. A great cross-field ball from Kyle Walker, just above the heads of all those players in red, and it just landed at De Bruyne's feet. Great ball. I've been watching Kyle Walker. He's kind of talking Garcia through the game, helping him out, helping him with his positional play.
That's good to see. That's what you'd expect of an experienced senior professional. Liverpool with the ball at the back. I was saying, Dion, to Steve Crossman earlier on, that I just feel that after the week since the title was confirmed, I think this is almost the ideal match for Liverpool, isn't it? To have something like this that you see as a big challenge.
Yeah, and to keep your standards up as well. Don't drop your standards. This is a team here, Man City, that will be hurting that they haven't won the Premier League. They want it back. It's theirs. In their eyes, it's theirs. So you have to keep your standards up. If you don't in this league, City are the kind of team that can make you look stupid.
All manner of records that Liverpool can break this season. As Manchester City take the throw, De Bruyne is up against Van Dijk inside the box. It bounces infield. Van Dijk was able to touch it back, and the referees brought it back for a free kick. Was that for a late challenge when the cross came?
You know what?
After the ball had gone.
I'm not sure that he's thinking, let me bring this one back instead of looking at this one. Because I think Kevin De Bruyne gets to the ball first. Yes, he does. And then... Yes, I'm just watching the replay. It looks like Van Dijk didn't touch the ball. KDB got there first, and the referee's thinking, just take it back.
But it was Gomez. It was Gomez on Sterling for the free kick. That's right. Over there on the left-hand side. So free kick taken, cleared away by Liverpool. Bounces back over the top. There's no offside flag. Ball on the left-hand side with Foden. Angles it back to De Bruyne. De Bruyne up against Fabinho. Now he's up against Robertson. Then he crosses left-footed to the near post, and Van Dijk is in the perfect place to half volley it high and away out into one of the canvases on the seats.
Even for a split second, if you're an individual playing in this game, if you switch off, the opposing team and players are that good that they can see who's switched off, and they go and play in that area.
Throwing into the penalty area. Sterling twisting. Gomez is very tight on him. He goes down, Sterling, and the referee... What's he done here? The referee is showing a yellow card to Gomez, and he's given Manchester City a penalty for Gomez's challenge on Sterling inside the 6-yard box. Sterling wriggling around him, and Sterling going to ground, and a little tug at the arms around him. There's definitely a grab. Sterling goes down. Yeah, it's a penalty.
That's a penalty all day long. Yeah. Sterling does absolutely fantastic. Little tussle with his old pal, and he gets the better of him. Very good play from Sterling.
Another penalty to Manchester City. A penalty just beyond the midway point of the first half, and Kevin De Bruyne, who is now the main penalty man, initially reluctantly, but remember the one that he scored in the Bernabeu, and he scored a couple since the restart, and here he is to give Manchester City the lead against the new champions. Alisson waits on the goal line, all in green. Kevin De Bruyne, up he steps, right-footed, and sends the Liverpool goalkeeper the wrong way, plants the ball into the net, and Manchester City strike first. 1-0 their lead against Liverpool.
Yeah, if you want a player who's going to make sure that ball hits the back of the net, Kevin De Bruyne, absolutely fantastic. Never looked like he was going to miss. It's been very, very even game. Couple of chances each, but wow, what a penalty.
And we will have the drinks break now. I've seen this on a number of occasions since the restart. A goal being scored just before the drinks break. So a chance for Liverpool to regroup. They could easily have been ahead with the early chances that they had. But I did mention, Dion, the rivalry between Gomez and Sterling.
Yeah, it's there, isn't it? You can see it, can't you? They both want to win this battle, but on that occasion Sterling was outstanding. Ball into his feet, shimmied right to go in pitch, in towards the penalty spot to strike with his right. Then a nice little Johan Cruyff goes back on his left foot, and Gomez just gets wrong side. You've got to tip your hat to Sterling, nice and strong, low centre of gravity, gets his team a pen.
So Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0. And Pep Guardiola, all animation in the middle of his group of players. And then suddenly he says, "Where's Ederson?" And they look across, and the Manchester City goalkeeper is still in the goal.
He's just jogging in now.
To our left, and
the whistle's gone.
He's
Quick.
been called in, and Jurgen Klopp, meanwhile, has already left his players and is walking away to take up his seat again. But great work from Sterling there. Great persistence.
Really good persistence, and good ball retention. It's been a very good game of football. Good passing into play. Some really good passes in behind defenders. Some great bits of individual quality as well. It's exactly what I expect. But Liverpool are out there ready to go, and Pep's still chatting to his team. I think he wanted Ederson in because he's part of their outfield players.
I've seen this as well before. Pep Guardiola certainly uses every second of that time. But it is Kevin De Bruyne who's just scored his 13th goal of the season for Manchester City. 4 penalties. And mentioned the one that he scored in the Bernabeu, which proved to be the winner in the first leg of the Champions League tie against Real Madrid. That being the first penalty that he'd taken since 2016. And now he's scored 3 more since the restart and 4 penalties in all. And City have had their penalty problems. It looks as though they've found the solution. It was there all the time. Walker back in his own right back position, carrying the ball out of play and actually stepping off the pitch under pressure from Wijnaldum. And I thought for a moment there, jarring his foot with the way that he caught it in the turf, but he's okay. He's back on his feet, and it's a throw-in for Liverpool. Manchester City 1-0 up. The Kevin De Bruyne penalty in the 25th minute, and Liverpool with Sadio Mane. Mane now to the left-hand side, and then back-heeling the ball infield to absolutely no one, straight behind for a goal kick. And it's Manchester City's ball.
Yeah.
And Dion Dublin.
Yeah, Kyle Walker's actually he's fired up for this one, by the way. There's any player in red going down the left-hand side, he's making sure they don't have a comfortable time. Looking incredibly sharp tonight.
Manchester City take the goal kick out from the back, as they love to do. Gundogan inside his area. Liverpool pressing with their front 3. It's passed out here to Garcia, then Walker as well. Walker back in field towards Gundogan. It's always a feature to see how Manchester City play their way out of this sort of position, and they're still going now, urged on by Guardiola. Walker playing the ball in field, straight at his England colleague Henderson.
And gets it straight back.
But it bounced straight back to Walker, so Manchester City have got it inside their own half. Almost half an hour played then. Manchester City leading by 1-0. City, who've won both matches here without conceding a goal since the restart. The 3-0 against Arsenal and the 5-0 against Burnley, and they've been superb in both of those matches. Whereas Liverpool actually, away from home, have struggled either side of the suspension and have not scored in their last 4 away matches in all competitions. Van Dijk striking the ball forward, but it's bounced back for Manchester City, and here's the goal scorer, Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne trying to slip a pass through. What a pass to Jesus, right side of the area, beats Robertson and then slips as he looks to either shoot or cross it, and just slices it straight behind for a goal kick. But what a pass from De Bruyne.
I actually thought that the chance had gone. Kevin De Bruyne received it in the centre of the pitch, and I'm thinking, well, how can he pass that in between 4 red shirts and get it absolutely spot on? It was incredible. And Jesus there goes left, goes right, does all the hard work, and then in the end he sort of scoos the finish. But the pass from De Bruyne never ceases to amaze me.
No, that was through the eye of the
four players.
Yes, yeah. The weight as well, perfect as well. And Jesus threatened to beat Robertson, but in the end, the slip beat him. So 1-0 to Manchester City. Manchester City's first match in the Premier League since their 2-year hold on the title ended at Stamford Bridge last Thursday night. Since then, of course, have won through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Garcia beaten by Mane. Mane into the penalty area on the left-hand side. It's a crowded box. It's crossed, but Rodri stuck out a leg and cleared it out of his own penalty area. And Liverpool can start again. Fabinho caught by his international teammate Jesus, and it's a free kick to Liverpool, 15 yards inside Manchester City territory, Dion.
Yeah, I think that sort of backs up my what I've seen tonight. I think Garcia being left one-on-one with Mane. Kyle Walker trying to push forward, as you would expect, to make more forward-thinking City players, but it leaves Garcia with Mane, and he just gets his legs in a bit of a tangle.
High line from Manchester City, 5 or 6 yards outside of the penalty area. Robertson curls it in beyond the defensive line. Mendy manages to avoid that. It bounces out towards the right. Firmino is there. Firmino then back to Salah, and then Salah back towards the halfway line. Alexander-Arnold, a high ball over the top to his full-back mate Robertson, whose ball into the penalty area is too close to Ederson, who's able to scoop it up.
Yeah, but it's the right pass. Great little pass in there. He sort of puts it in front of Robertson as if to say, go on, hit this one first time on the volley, and he tries to side foot it in that corridor of uncertainty, we like to call it, but he gets it. Doesn't quite get it right on this occasion.
So Manchester City clearing through Ederson, who goes long this time up towards Sterling, who won the penalty from which Manchester City took the lead. Sterling winning it against Gomez, and then it's lost centrally by Rodri inside his own half. Firmino to Mane now to Fabinho, who works it across, but the recovering Rodri gets in there ahead of Salah, who puts his hands to his hair, that quite lengthy hair that Salah has got, and it's out for a throw that Liverpool take. Alexander-Arnold again turns onto his left foot. Here's the ball in towards the near post, cleared away this time by Laporte, and Manchester City should get this away. They do with Gundogan. Now here's Phil Foden. Foden looks up, goes for a high ball over the top. Van Dijk is nudged by Jesus illegally. It's a free kick to Liverpool, says the referee.
Yeah, it was just under hit by Foden. I think Van Dijk was going to get on that one, no problem at all, but I think Jesus gave him a little bit of a nudge just to put him off. The referee didn't miss that one.
Interestingly poised. Manchester City leading by a goal to nil. Liverpool have only lost once in the Premier League this season. Ball forward for Salah. Ederson's come a long way out of his penalty area, slides in on Salah, wins the ball, and then puts in the second challenge on Henderson to put it out of play as well, the City goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think he's won the first one fair and square. I didn't quite see the second one. We've got a replay here. First one's fair and square, gets there before Salah. It actually hits his elbow while he's out, and then there's a second one which is a 50-50, and he just toes it out. Nothing wrong with either of those challenges. Maybe an elbow in the first one.
Outside of the penalty area. There was a little delay there, so whether VAR just had a little peek.
Yeah, maybe.
Didn't take long, that one, though.
No, it did. It definitely hit his elbow, so they obviously didn't agree.
That's the way forward. Stuart Atwell's the VAR tonight. Lightning quick Stuart, as he's known. The ball at the back with Liverpool. Here's Gomez and Van Dijk. This combination that Liverpool have in central defence when they've been starting together in central defence. Liverpool have won their last 16 Premier League matches with 12 clean sheets and conceding only 5 goals. But tonight, he's been undone by Raheem Sterling. Gomez conceding the penalty, and Manchester City lead by 1-0. Here's Gundogan playing it through the middle for Sterling. Jesus, who turns it to the right-hand side. Foden now into the box. Foden to Sterling. Sterling's in again, and Sterling's able to make it 2-0 to Manchester City. And the old champions are making a point here against the new champions. 2-0, Manchester City lead.
Yeah, and what a finish as well. You know what? The run from Foden, an amazing run. He goes right at the heart of Liverpool's defence. No fear whatsoever. He takes his time, picks the right pass. But the beauty of this goal is the run from Kevin De Bruyne in behind Foden. It just takes the eye line of two Liverpool players, and Sterling does the rest. Comes inside Gomez on the left foot into the right foot, and it's a very good finish. It's an amazing ball from Foden as well. Lovely weight of pass, and the first touch from Raheem Sterling was very, very good.
Yeah, really good first touch from Sterling, who was really stretching for that, but with that touch beat Gomez, and then on his right foot a neat little finish as Alisson came out, and Manchester City leading Liverpool by 2-0. And now they're looking for more as they win it back from the restart. Rodri into the penalty area. De Bruyne works it across the 6-yard box, and no one could get a touch in the middle. Jesus sliding in. I think he was the closest to it. Foden's kept it in play here on the right-hand side. That could easily have been 3-0 to Manchester City.
That was his left foot as well, wasn't it? I have no idea which foot he's using, because he can use both so well. What a pass.
Just flashed across the 6-yard box.
Any touch at all on that from a defender or a striker, it's in the back of the net.
This is a bit of a shock for Liverpool. 2-0 down here. Manchester City coming forward again, looking for another one. They've got the scent of goals in their nostrils against Liverpool. And Gundogan on the edge of the penalty area just loses it. Henderson now, and then Alexander-Arnold just thumps it away downfield, and it bounces out of play 10 yards inside the Manchester City half. So what do we put this down to, Dion?
I think the work rate of City when they haven't got the ball is evident to see, putting Liverpool under some severe pressure, making them rush the game that they want to play. Some of the positional play from Kevin De Bruyne, he plays right wing, then he plays in the 10, then he goes left. You just cannot mark him, therefore he finds himself free a lot of the game. Gundogan just sits in there and does his job. But Liverpool have had their chances as well, and it's still an open game.
Yeah, bit of hunger as well from Manchester City, bit of determination, having had to give Liverpool the guard of honour before the match, and Raheem Sterling winning a penalty and scoring the second goal himself. That's 23 for the season for Raheem Sterling, which means he's level with Aguero now in the Manchester City scoring stakes. 13 in the Premier League for Sterling this season.
Just seems to be getting better, John. You know, his composure in front of goal is better. When we used to see him thrash at things 2 or 3 years ago, he's now becoming a man, and he's playing and finishing like a man as well.
Yeah, and maturing off the field as well, as we've been talking over the course of the last few months or so, last couple of years actually, with some of the things that he's been doing and saying. And here he is with the ball on the left-hand side. Sterling looking back towards the halfway line and playing it all the way back to Laporte. I guess, Dion, you'll have seen the Newsnight interview that Sterling did, which I thought was extremely powerful.
Yes, credit to him as well, putting himself in that position. You know, everything that he's saying at the moment is being written about, it's being shown on television. I think a very brave young man that's made a huge difference as well. So, you know, I tip my hat to him.
Yeah, and I thought interesting as well, Manchester City taking the throw from the left-hand side. Foden now into the challenge. Mane bounces to him. Now back to Firmino. Liverpool, knowing that with half-time approaching, 6-7 minutes to go, they would love to get a goal to get themselves a foothold in the match. But Manchester City in control, leading by 2-0. Yeah, with Raheem Sterling, I think interesting in the light of the political controversy around the Black Lives Matter movement over the course of the last week or so, that when he gave that interview, Raheem Sterling was very much talking about implementing change. He was looking long term rather than the short term. I thought that was a very clear message from him. Here's Henderson. Plays the ball to the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold plays it over the top. Firmino tried to glance it on through to Mane, who would have been in, but it was blocked by the defender, Garcia, I think, and it's out of play for a throw to Liverpool on the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold gets the ball down, plays it back to Fabinho, and then Liverpool go back towards the halfway line. They had their chances when it was 0-0. A couple of saves from Ederson. Salah hitting the post as well. but Manchester City scoring 2 goals in 10 minutes. Penalty from De Bruyne, and then one from open play by Sterling, who won the opening penalty himself. Van Dijk, long pass to the right hand side. Alexander-Arnold arrives there, it bounces up, he plays it across. Walker then chests it back to goalkeeper Ederson on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, his positional play, Kyle Walker's really interesting, really close to Garcia, not allowing Mane to get in between those two players, making Alexander-Arnold hit that long ball where Mane was, but it never got there, just through Kyle Walker's positional play. Good defending, confident.
That's Dion Dublin. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. We're on the red button tonight. Match of the day, 10:45, for the highlights of all of the midweek matches. Gary Lineker with Martin Keown and Jermaine Genius, 10:45. BBC One tonight. And at half-time, I guess we'll hear more from Sheffield United's very good win, 3-0 against Tottenham at Bramall Lane in our earlier commentary match. And Hull City, an important win for them in the Championship, 2-1 against Middlesbrough with a late winner from Malik Wilkes. Liverpool 2-0 down here. And Manchester City just standing off Van Dijk, who's in possession, wanted to go long but instead went infield towards Gomez, who then chips the ball away harmlessly over the top of Alexander-Arnold and out of play for a throw.
Yeah, and that's it's just the way that City are set up. They'll allow Liverpool to have the ball in certain areas the closer they get to the halfway line. The way they shuffle across the pitch, City, in their formation, doesn't leave Liverpool much space whatsoever, therefore forcing a pass from Gomez which was nowhere near Trent Alexander because he was marked.
5 minutes to go to half-time. Manchester City 2, Liverpool 0, and a throw into City after that misplaced pass that Mendy is still waiting to take, and is shown a yellow card for delaying the throw. And Pep Guardiola comes across here to Mike Dean and protests, and a yellow card, a booking for Mendy.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised at that as well. I didn't think he was taking that long, to be honest, but the referee doesn't seem. Anthony Taylor just yellow card straight out.
Yeah, that is swift and decisive action there. I think if you saw that all of the time, we'd have a good deal more bookings than we already do. Jurgen Klopp just standing next to Mike Dean. They're having a little bit of a discussion about it. Pep Guardiola just a few yards to the left, just keeping an ear on what's going on there. Mike Dean's got his face covering over his new beard.
He loves the beard, doesn't he? He's having the beard. He ain't getting rid of that. He's got a bit of publicity. I'm keeping it.
I think it's stylish, Dion. You know all about
No, I don't at all.
No, I don't think it's stylish.
No, I don't.
That's strong.
Sorry, Mike. I think you're a very good ref, but get rid of the beard.
Yeah, that's strong summarising, Dion, there. Robertson playing it in field. Gundogan's pass then evades Walker and it's out of play. And Pep Guardiola, he's wearing that sweatshirt again, that blue sweatshirt, which is got Citizens written across the back, which is the Manchester City charity campaign, Citizens Giving for Recovery, which is advertised various points around the ground. Long ball forward from Gomez to the edge of the area, but little Garcia gets up high there and heads it away in between Salah and Mane. Now Foden in the centre circle, but Robertson across and just sends him spinning to the ground, Foden, so it's a free kick to Manchester City in the centre circle.
Just getting a little bit frustrated now. I can see Robertson getting frustrated. Foden, great little bit of feet there, and Robertson caught his ankle. Fabinho there moaned at the referee as well, but just good play. Anyone
who's just tuning in and hears the scoreline, Manchester City 2, Liverpool 0, might think, Dion, Liverpool have celebrated too hard.
No, I wouldn't say so. I just think that City have been better. During this time they've been better, they've moved the ball better, they've had better options on the ball. Liverpool started very, very well, put City under some pressure.
Pep Guardiola, absolutely furious, throws down a water bottle that you might have heard ping onto the ground and bounce back into the advertising hoardings because they didn't play it the way that he wants them to play it. Walker, in the end, going back to Ederson. Now Rodri on the edge of the area. He's a hard taskmaster, Dion. Long one downfield towards De Bruyne. Van Dijk was up to head it away. Netherlands against Belgium, that one. Now Sterling on the left-hand side. Sterling back to De Bruyne. 3 minutes of added time to come at the end of the first half as the ball is put out of play over there against De Bruyne by Alexander-Arnold for a throw-in to Manchester City.
Yes, he was absolutely seething with Mendy. Seething. He beat two players. He's running across his own box in front of his own defenders. I think he gets a nutmegs on one of the Liverpool centre forwards, and Pep throws his water bottle down, so angry.
Yeah, so. Here is Jesus on the left-hand side, twisting and turning next to the corner flag and winning a throw-in after the challenge comes in on him. Mike Dean just comes across, has a little word with Pep Guardiola. And Pep Guardiola has gone down onto his haunch. He has sunk down onto his knees because Mike Dean is having a word with him about the throwing of the water bottle. And Mike Dean still with his hand on his back, still talking away, just telling him that he needs to behave, and he's still down on his haunches. He can't believe it. Here's Foden, back to Gundogan. Foden then works it through, gets it back from De Bruyne. Foden for 3. It is 3-0 to Manchester City. Brilliantly worked. Foden, De Bruyne, the pass was exquisite, and the finish was crisp as can be from Foden to make it Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0 before half-time in Liverpool's first match after they were crowned as champions.
You know what, that's just total football. Foden was just outstanding. He received the ball just on the edge of the D, plays it round the corner, over his right shoulder, infield. And who's there? De Bruyne's there, bam, straight back in. And Foden's unmarked. He moved that quickly. It's just great to watch. If you get a chance to see this goal, that is just total football. Brilliant City. Liverpool had no answer whatsoever to that genius bit of football from a young man that's got a massive future in the game.
Well, Dion, that got Pep back on his feet.
Yes, and he's happy again now, I think. He's picked the water bottle up, had a little sip.
What a goal that was from Foden.
Oh,
terrific.
Great to watch.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a team goal as well. De Bruyne's role in it just created the space for Foden. The finish, it was from a slight angle, wasn't it? The goalkeeper came out, he just...
It was, but his first touch was great, Foden, with his left foot, so therefore the defender has to come close to him. As soon as the defender come close, he put it to his right, round the corner, what we call round the corner to Kevin De Bruyne. And Kevin De Bruyne's vision, we all know about that, just leaves it into his path. Come on then, here's a 1-2 for you. And Foden finishes with his wrong foot cleanly.
So what about this for a scoreline then? Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0, and we're not even at half-time, and here's Mendy as City come through again, but the pass to the edge of the area is cut out by Van Dijk, and Liverpool clear it. And that is now 4 goals since the restart for Phil Foden. The one against Arsenal, 2 against Burnley here, now 1 against Liverpool, 7 for the season in all competitions. He started today on the right side going forward, ball over the top for Liverpool, but Mane can't reach that, and Ederson has got it safely. Liverpool had the early chances in the first half, but Manchester City have come on strong since just before the drinks break, Dion.
Yeah, and the position that Ederson takes up as well, it means that this back four of City, anything over the top is there, he's cleaning up. It's actually gone over the back four a few times, and the Liverpool players look like they're in, but Ederson's position, he's just swept everything up.
I remember seeing Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool lose 5-0 here back in 2017, which, if you remember, that was the game when Sadio Mane was sent off as Fabinho plays the ball over the top for Salah, who's got space on the right-hand side just before half-time. Salah with a cross, but it's over Mane. Firmino at the back post couldn't get there either, and it curled straight beyond the two of them for a goal kick.
Yeah, the frustration, I can see, Salah's looking frustrated because nobody's on the end of the cross. Some of the balls that Van Dijk's playing and Robertson's playing, they're decent balls, but positional play of Ederson and the defenders of City have just quashed any quality. They've just tried to get through any gaps at all that City have. So yeah, it's a City performance that's just got stronger and stronger throughout this game.
There've been some big wins both ways for the two teams in their recent rivalry, this building rivalry, and Jurgen Klopp just makes his way to the mouth of the tunnel and then quickly disappears down the tunnel after that. What about that? Liverpool losing 3-0 at half-time, their first match after a week of enjoying and letting the winning of the Premier League title sink in. Well, this wasn't part of the plan. Manchester City 3-0 up, Dion.
Yeah, and fully deserved. I think Liverpool started very well. First 15 minutes, they came out the blocks, looked very sharp, created some chances, and I'm thinking this is going to be a very, very interesting game. City seemed to burst that bubble and then just get stronger and stronger. The football they've played, De Bruyne has been great, Watts is brilliant, Sterling as well with his strength, Mendy's been very positive, and Foden for me, honestly, what a career he's got ahead of him. Absolutely fantastic from City.
So Manchester City gave Liverpool a guard of honour. Salah hit the post, but that was the end of the generosity. And at half-time, the winners of the Premier League in the last 2 seasons, Manchester City, are beating this season's champions 3-0 at half-time.
Wow. Dion, I've just been and watched back Foden's assist for the first goal as well. And we talked before the game about, this is testing yourself against the very best. So he cuts in front of Robertson. He sort of moves laterally away from Van Dijk, plays a ball before Wijnaldum can stop him. Then the way he scores the second goal. These are the very best in the world. And he is more than meeting the challenge. He's blowing it away.
No, he is. You know what, Steve? He is. And he's looking very, very comfortable and confident among this kind of this company, and I just believe he's going to get better. They're allowing him to play his game. They're allowing him free rein down this right-hand side. That's the City players, and at the moment, the Liverpool players are doing the same. He doesn't look out of sorts at all. Ball round the corner with Kevin De Bruyne, gets on it, finishes on his bad foot against a very good goalkeeper. City have been great, Steve. Really, really good to watch.
Just looking at some of the messages coming in, 85058 at 5 Live Sport. Gary Lineker, lovely stuff from City. Phil Foden to Sterling, is that something we'll see a lot of in the coming years? I think it is. Lee, you've just seen that Foden is more capable of taking over from Silva. What a star. We've also had Liverpool fans getting in touch as well. Ryan, Jurgen Klopp is going to ruin them in the dressing room. I know we've already won the league. This is not good enough. Liz says Jesus is improving, but he needs to score more goals. Andy, Liverpool have obviously been the best side in the league. How can anyone disagree with De Bruyne being player of the season? Jurgen Klopp is going to have some things to say. I think that's a safe statement, Dion.
Yeah, he will, and what he's going to say, I wouldn't like to guess, but what Liverpool need to do is they need to get back to what they've done to win this title. Concentration levels at the back have been a little bit lax, taken too many touches on the ball, which City love because they work so hard to get the ball back with that 6-second rule that they've got. When they lose it, they want it back in 6 seconds, and it shows the hunger and the hurt that they want this title back.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if Liverpool are on it, or even close to on it, I don't think, Pep Guardiola's Barcelona might not be 3-0 up against them at half-time. So surely this isn't just Manchester City being brilliant. Liverpool aren't there, are they?
You know what, Liverpool have been, like I said, Steve, they've been okay. They've been good for 15, 20 minutes, and then just City seem to have their right foot on the accelerator and just squeeze it and get better and better and better. It's great to watch. Liverpool, I want to see more from. If the Liverpool were on their A game and City were on their A game tonight, I'd still think City would be a goal up. Not 3, but maybe a goal up. Liverpool need to do more. If they don't, Steve, this could be 5 or 6. If it continues like this, it'll be 5 or 6.
Dion, John, thank you very much for the time being. Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. Liverpool have lost 1 game all season. They need something pretty spectacular to extend that beyond tonight. Fantastic performance from City so far. So we've still got second half commentary to come from the Etihad. Very shortly we'll be getting reaction to Sheffield United's 3-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur. We'll hear from Jose Mourinho and Chris Wilder. We'll also get reaction from Hull City's victory over Middlesbrough, a last-minute victory over Middlesbrough, which has massively boosted Hull's hopes of staying in the Championship and left Borough teetering on the edge. We'll get the news first on 5 Live with Faye Rusco.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The government's announced plans for classes or year groups to be kept in separate bubbles when schools in England fully reopen in September. The guidelines also say that if 2 children test positive for the virus, then a school could be temporarily shut down. Helen Catt is our political correspondent.
The crux of this plan is this idea of moving children into larger bubbles so more of them can go back, but still trying to keep perhaps year groups or class groups separated from one another. And of course, that is going to be the challenge for schools, because what the government has done is to issue guidance, but it is going to be up to the individual schools to make it work in practice.
Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has announced people will have to wear face coverings in shops in Scotland from the 10th of July. She also says the 2-metre social distancing rule is to be reduced in the hospitality and retail sectors and on public transport. Ghislaine Maxwell, a former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested and charged in the US. She was detained in New Hampshire by the FBI. She's previously denied any wrongdoing or any knowledge of Epstein's activities. He died in prison last year while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. The National Crime Agency says more than 700 people have been arrested and a secure chat network used by criminals has been successfully cracked. Firearms, drugs and £54 million in cash have also been seized in the operation involving police forces across Europe. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner Dame Cressida Dick says it's a game changer.
This is an amazing moment, I think, for UK policing and UK law enforcement. Thanks to our partners in the National Crime Agency and internationally, we have been able to hit the most senior levels of organised crime.
And the owner of Bella Italia, Café Rouge and Las Iguanas has said it plans to cut 1,900 jobs after calling in administrators. Casual Dining Group says it will close more than a third of its 250 restaurants.
Hear the best of 5 Live Sport on BBC Sounds with That Peter Crouch podcast.
We got a few beers and then we got escorted back to an even better place, which was like the VIP place with Crouchy. So he's already half getting signed just from them contacts. You know what I mean? I'll make it clear to anyone who's listening, my weakness is free stuff.
And 5 Live's Football Daily.
What is the plan? Who is running the club? Who is running the transfer policy? Why has he got 1 year left? Your star man on a fortune, not trying a leg, and that's the way it looks.
Sport on Sounds. All your 5 Live favourites. Listen using the BBC Sounds app. This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Just watching Phil Foden's goal back again. Absolutely brilliant. Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0 at half-time. We'll have second-half commentary for you very shortly. Already tonight, Sheffield United have won for the first time since the season restarted. They beat Tottenham 3-1. Sander Berge, Lys Mousset and Ollie McBurney got the goals. Harry Kane scored a late consolation for Tottenham. He actually had the ball in the back of the net 4 times. 3 of them disallowed, most controversially the first one for a handball in the build-up by Lucas Moura. So we'll hear from the Sheffield United manager Chris Wilder in a moment. First of all, Gary Flintoff caught up with Jose Mourinho.
Jose, how unfair was that final scoreline this evening?
Depends on the way you look to it. If you look to it without Michael Oliver decision, I think Sheffield deserved to win because they were more aggressive, they were more committed, they were more intense, they were more humble. So I think if we can forget that Michael Oliver decision, I think they deserve to win. But that decision was part of the game, and I think that decision is very important in the result, not just because 1-1 at half-time is different than 1-0, and also because I think by the mental point of view, my team didn't recover from that. It was like really a bucket of icy water in the team that had a great reaction and score a goal. But I congratulate Sheffield, obviously.
Has the decision and the process to award that free kick been explained to you?
There is nothing to explain because everything is obvious. The referee is not here. The referee was not here. The referee was not on the pitch. The man wearing black in the middle of the pitch is not the referee. It's just somebody that is there to give the little things of the game, the obvious things of the game, but the one that controls the game is the man in the office. That's the way it is now.
Would you say it's one of the worst decisions we've seen from the VAR so far?
From the VAR, yes. But Sheffield had one worse not VAR, but goal line technology against Aston Villa.
Just finally, how do you see the race for European places this season?
We lost a big opportunity to close the gap to Champions League and to have that fight to arrive there. I think today we lost a big chance, and I think now the way the table is, we have to focus in getting points, maybe to try to fight for a Europa League position.
Chris Wilder, how satisfying was both the victory but also the performance today?
Yeah, we were after a performance. We saw signs on Sunday afternoon that we were getting back to where we want to be. Now obviously, Gary, the key is to continue that, and that's the hard bit now. It's been a good night for us. You know, we've been hurting because we expected a little bit more from the players, and the results and maybe the performances haven't been as good as we expected and wanted, but there's a lot of desire in that changing room and a lot of quality, as you've seen in the goals that we've scored tonight.
In terms of the big talking point of the evening, what did you make of the ruling out by VAR of the goal to make it 1-1?
It's quite difficult for me to speak about it because of I just said about the back catalogue of decisions that have gone against us. I think it's a nonsense rule, and we've been on the receiving end, and one's gone for us tonight. But there it is. That's the rule, and you know. You have to live with that, and as we've had to live with a few decisions this season. So hopefully that the focus will be on our performance and on our really good result as well.
Great result, great season for Sheffield United, 7th in the table, so that would bring with it Europa League football next season as it stands. And, you know, they're still 5 points behind Manchester United in 5th, so that Champions League dream is not over either. Massive result, by the way, in the Championship earlier. Hull City came from a goal down to beat Middlesbrough 2-1. Malik Wilkes scored in stoppage time. It means Hull move out of the relegation zone. Middlesbrough are right on the cusp of it now. Their manager, Neil Warnock, wasn't happy, it's safe to say. He's been speaking to BBC T's Mark Drury.
Neil, what might have been, eh?
Yeah, I think I'd have been doing yourself after the game tonight, disappointed if we'd only got a point. But to come away with nothing, I mean, it's a travesty, really, and it's all our own doing. We conceded the goal like on, and good luck to them. But in fairness, we should have been. The game should have been beyond Hull in the first half, let alone the second half. We had so many opportunities and picked the wrong decision and put the ball behind the goal instead of crossing it. And I've never had my head in my hands so much as the second half.
And it was such a great start as well, wasn't it? You know, 4 minutes in and you're in front.
Yeah, we looked sharp as well around the box. You know, I'm disappointed with the equaliser. You know, to lose a goal like that was just shambolic, really.
Really, really poor result for Middlesbrough that. It leaves them 1 place outside the relegation zone and only 1 point as well, albeit we still have Wigan's 12-point deduction to come into effect. A quick reminder before we go back to the football at the Etihad, this week's EuroLeagues podcast, you can download that now via BBC Sounds. John Bennett presenting this week with Guillaume Balaguer, Julien Laurent and Raphael Honigstein, talking, amongst other things, about Arjen Robben's sensational return to football, the latest problems at Barcelona, and what makes young Kai Havertz so special. Well, it's young Phil Foden who's been special so far in the Manchester City game against Liverpool. Brilliant first half performance from him and the whole team. They lead Liverpool, the champions, 3-0 at half-time. What a first 45 minutes it's been for Pep Guardiola's side. I can see the two teams are in the tunnel, so let's hand back to your commentary team, Dion Dublin and our correspondent John Murray.
Thank you, Steve. Liverpool are going to make a change, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is coming on, and it's Joe Gomez who is coming off. So that's going to need a bit of a reshuffle for Liverpool. Fabinho, Dion Dublin, I presume, is going to drop back into the back line.
Yeah, he's come on the pitch and he's gone right next door to Virgil van Dijk. So yeah, it's Gomez off. Fabinho just drops into that little speck.
So what? I mean, we don't know, obviously. Do we assume that that's a problem for Joe Gomez?
He hasn't played well. He's had an absolute nightmare in the first half against Sterling. That battle, you mentioned it before the game started, at the start of the game as well, and Sterling may have got into his head. He's gone by him a couple of times. Gomez just hasn't had a good first 45 minutes, and the manager's seen it and made a swap.
Yeah, and no one's going to forget that now.
No, of course not. Of course not. And, you know, they may, if Gomez is playing, they may do exactly the same. Other teams may do the same, but, you know, you've got to remember that Sterling's a very good player. There's a bit of beef between the two of them. Sterling got the better of it, and it doesn't mean Gomez has not got a very huge future in the game. Just on the first 45 minutes, he had a stinker against Sterling, full stop.
Yeah, but that's actually, you know, that's a good challenge for Gomez, isn't it?
It is, and it just goes to show that tonight he's got it wrong.
So Liverpool make that change. Oxlade-Chamberlain on for Gomez. So Fabinho now in the back line. The teams are out there, and Kevin De Bruyne begins the second half, having scored the opening goal in this match. The second half begins with Manchester City 3-0 up on Liverpool. City, as they started the match, ball played over the top. Ederson's out of his penalty area and heads the ball away, rather in the manner that he did when he collided with Garcia in the Arsenal match. This time young Garcia made sure he got out of Ederson's way, who came flying headlong, and the goalkeeper headed it out of play on the far side.
I think he learned his lesson.
He certainly has.
Let me just get out of the way, because I can hear he's coming like a steam train. Get out of the way.
Yeah, I presume a big shout from goalkeeper Ederson as well, you would like to think, warned him. So it's a throw into Manchester City, who have Ederson in goal, a back four of Walker, Garcia, Laporte and Mendy, midfield of De Bruyne, Rodri and Gundogan, and Foden on the right, Sterling on the left, and Gabriel Jesus through the middle. And Liverpool now with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Fabinho, Van Dijk and Robertson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Salah, Firmino and Mane. And Manchester City leading through the 3 first half goals, the De Bruyne penalty, Sterling and Foden. And Liverpool, who have failed to score in their last 4 away matches, they have lost precisely 2 of their last 70 Premier League matches. Liverpool lost 2 out of 70, but they're 3-0 down here. And Sterling has a throw in for Manchester City down the left. He's going to leave it to Mendy, who wanders up behind him. Mendy, who's already been booked for taking too long over a throw-in, standing with the ball, still standing with the ball, and then takes the throw. That was testing the patience of referee Taylor Dion.
Yeah, he was walking over as well. He was just pacing over, just getting closer and closer, and just as he got about 10 yards away, Mendy, he had to throw it.
He did. And here he is, he's got another throw now. And I get the impression he wasn't best pleased at being booked for that in the first half, and he really is testing the patience. Takes this one a little more quickly, and then Sterling down the line, and Alexander-Arnold has a look at Sterling. I wonder as well, you know, Dion, whether there's an element of Jurgen Klopp in these circumstances just looking after Gomez as well.
Yeah, maybe it's on the odd occasion you just have to take somebody out the firing line if he's not having a good game and things aren't going well for him. Just take him out the firing line just for 45 minutes, just for a game, and let him regroup.
This latest City throw, Alexander-Arnold has deflected it out for a corner. Manchester City corner from the left. Kevin De Bruyne to take it. Do see match of the day tonight and see the little pass that he gave back for Foden, as well as other things. De Bruyne in this match, he's standing just to the left of the corner flag. Here's the delivery. Alisson comes for it, gets a catch on it as he's buffeted by Garcia, but juggles it and catches it at the second attempt. And then the Liverpool goalkeeper overarms it out to Alexander-Arnold, who's on the left-hand side, whose pass was cut out by Sterling, but it bounces back to Alexander-Arnold, lifts the ball over the top. Salah, who hit the post in the first half when Liverpool were on top in the early stages, but Manchester City have come back so strongly into the match, scoring goals as they did so, and that's a poor throw from Alexander-Arnold, has let in Gabriel Jesus to the edge of the area, whose shot was too close to Alisson, who's able to go down and make a routine save to his left.
Yeah, a little bit of cat and mouse there. Trent Alexander thought that he could throw the ball over Jesus' head. I think it was to Van Dijk, and Jesus just a bit of cat and mouse here, and he just changed his direction, got hold of the ball, could have put Kevin De Bruyne in, tried to go on his own, it didn't quite work, but that's worrying. Sloppy play.
Well, now that was an incident there that did look as though, you know, Liverpool
concentration levels are not quite there.
No. And as I was saying to Steve Crossman a little bit earlier on, Mark Lawrenson was with us last week at the Crystal Palace match, and we were talking about some of his great title wins with Liverpool, and he was remembering. He said there was one where once they won the league, they completely dropped off, which was actually 82-83 when they won it with 5 matches to spare, Liverpool. So won it by a country mile, then took 1 point from their last 5 matches. Here's Henderson. Wijnaldum into the penalty area, but it's cleared away by Laporte. And Manchester City in the sky blue shirts come forward. Foden finds Sterling. Lovely turn from Sterling. Sterling running at the Liverpool defence. Still going, shoots, deflected, and it drops narrowly wide of the right post.
That was worrying. Sterling there, he literally he left. I think it might have been Fabinho just left him for dead. He's going for goal, and he had all these runs. He had Jesus to the left, Foden was sprinting down the right. He had 2 options. The runs actually took the Liverpool players left and right, and he went with his left foot, deflected over the keeper, but to safety. The sharpness of City it's great to see.
That was the Sterling of the first half of this season when he was unplayable.
Absolutely.
De Bruyne, the corner into the near post, headed away for Liverpool and then cleared further away by Salah. Gundogan is going to fire the ball over the top, which he's done really well, and it's bounced into the path of De Bruyne on the right hand side, who pulls it back for Foden with a shot, and it's cleared away from almost under the crossbar by Van Dijk, and it bounces away behind, and Phil Foden puts his hands on his head, so close again to 4-0.
Yeah, that's going in. It's going in. It could have been 4. That's Van Dijk just knowing exactly where he should be when his team's in danger. Get yourself on the line and make sure that ball doesn't get across it. But Kevin De Bruyne just picking out anybody he wants at will.
Another Manchester City corner from the right hand side. They're all over Liverpool. Here it is, headed away by Wijnaldum. It comes out to Walker, and then Walker's attempted pass back is blocked by Mane. Still bounces for Manchester City in any case. De Bruyne would come from an offside position, so it's a free kick to Liverpool over there. But 3-0 down, and Manchester City almost looking like they could score at will.
It is looking that way. I want to hear a little bit more from Henderson. I want to hear him leading. I want to hear some words of wisdom to get his team back up to the standards we expect them to be, with a pass like that.
Here's a pass from Henderson for Salah. Salah tries to turn it across, but Garcia's there. However, his clearance actually hits either Mane or Firmino on the edge of the area, but just loops harmlessly into the arms of Ederson.
I think that was Mane. It's a lovely little ball. He just steers it into the corner, and I think it's Salah that gets on the end of it, and harmless in the end, but better, more positive from Liverpool.
I mentioned the 5-0 win here, which was the season before last, when Manchester City won 5-0 and Mane was sent off early on. That was Jurgen Klopp's heaviest defeat as the Liverpool manager, and this could be 5-0. It could actually be more than 5-0. Sterling to Foden now driving forward, arms flailing as he does so, gives the ball to the right hand side, but then the pass from Gabriel Jesus, he cut it back behind his 2 teammates in the area and just gave possession to Liverpool, who will bring it away to the halfway line. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, freshly on at half-time. He's come on as a substitute in all 3 matches for Liverpool since the restart, but he's just not been able to get into the game so far, and Liverpool have got it halfway inside their own half. So it is Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. If you've just switched onto us on 5 Live, we're on the red button on your television tonight as well, the 5 Live commentary alongside the final score graphics via your red button, or go to the BBC iPlayer or the BBC Sport app, click on 5 Live final score, and you can listen to us with all of those graphics. And Liverpool with Fabinho hitting a long pass downfield, but that's onto the right instep of Walker. Foden now bringing it down. 1 or 2 shouts for a handball there. He couldn't get it down, but Manchester City go backwards to goalkeeper Ederson. Over to our right, and as you can hear, this is the commentary with the artificial crowd. Here is Henderson nipping the ball back, plays it into Sadio Mane, who just controls it with the goal at his mercy, and the ball runs away from Sadio Mane, and Ederson can leap on it.
Yeah, the ball was actually on the penalty spot when it reached Sadio Mane, and I'm expecting him to either finish for it. He didn't even need to take a touch. He is that good that should have been a first time finish. Couldn't sort his feet out. That just for me says that Liverpool aren't sharp enough tonight. They've not looked sharp enough. City have played around them. That should be a goal. That's a really poor finish.
Foden turns forward of the centre circle. Manchester City looking ruthless. Foden still going and then shoots straight at Alisson from the edge of the area. Again, powerful stuff from City, but just running through Liverpool at will.
And he's travelled 15, 20 yards there past 2 or 3 Liverpool players. I mean, you have to celebrate winning the league, but you don't really want it to affect you this much.
Well, I mean, it is now official, isn't it, with some of the things that we've seen in the second half, that Liverpool are way off the pace. And Henderson, Manchester City are going to bring on Riyad Mahrez. He must be licking his lips at the thought of this. And the way that the match is at the moment, Manchester City could almost score as many as they want, you would think. Liverpool have got to pull their socks up. Van Dijk to Fabinho. Fabinho to Henderson. And Henderson goes for a long pass over the top through the middle. Sadio Mane runs onto it. Oh, there's a nudge on him on the edge of the penalty area. And the referee...
He's given something.
Has either given a free kick. Yes, he's given a free kick right on the edge of the box for that nudge that sent Sadio Mane flying. He fell into the penalty area, but it's a free kick near the right corner of the D.
Yes, he took his time with that one. Anthony Taylor wasn't quite sure. I think he was waiting for some help in his earpiece, whether that was in the box or not in the box. Yeah, it's just a nudge. Just watching the replay, just a gentle nudge from Kyle Walker in the back of Sadio Mane. And we're just seeing if it was in the box or wasn't. I think contact was just outside the box.
Ooh, very close.
Just outside the box, I think.
Anthony Taylor has shown a yellow card to Kyle Walker. We're not seeing... There is a VAR check going on for a possible penalty. And the decision is that it was outside of the area. So it's a free kick right on the edge of the box. It's very, very... I mean, this is inches outside of the penalty area. It's in the D, near the corner. Alexander-Arnold is there. Remember his free kick goal that he scored against Crystal Palace last week. The wall is right back towards the 6-yard box. Salah is there as well. Alexander-Arnold, the favourite. He is caressing the ball and twisting it around in his hands, making sure he's got it exactly where he wants it. Mahrez waiting to come onto the pitch, but Manchester City have got to defend this free kick first of all. 5-man wall. Alexander-Arnold. Ederson is standing towards his right post. Alexander-Arnold then with the free kick drives it low, pulls it past the wall, but it bounces past the post as well, and it's a goal kick to Manchester City.
Yes, I wasn't quite sure how he was going to find any corner of the goal with that kind of he's very close to the goal, edge of the box, hard to get it up and down. Had to go goalkeeper's side, and the goalkeeper had that covered. Therefore, there's no place for him to put the ball. No real power or guile to that either.
Gabriel Jesus coming off Dion, so it looks as though Sterling is going to go through the middle and Foden's going to come out to the left.
To the left-hand side, yeah, and Jesus, Mahrez will just go and jog over to that right-hand side now and play on the same side as Kyle Walker. Very, very dangerous. I was watching about 5 minutes ago when Mahrez was warming up. Mahrez went out to warm up. The two Silvers went out to warm up. I'm thinking, wow, any of those three is going to be even more pain for Liverpool.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva will fancy a little run out tonight. I'm absolutely certain of that. And David Silva, likewise, with his time ebbing towards an end as a Manchester City player, and on a night like this against this Liverpool team, as Oxlade-Chamberlain is fouled and it's 10 yards inside the Manchester City half. I said this Liverpool too. I mean, this is the first choice. This is their first choice team, but it's a week after they won the title for the first time for 30 years. Here's Fabinho with the ball at the back. Fabinho sending it forward. Laporte comes across and heads it down. Foden is there, turns up towards Sterling, who's cowered over by Fabinho, heads it back. Firmino is beaten in the air by Laporte. It comes back at the Liverpool defence, and Fabinho is across there and gives it to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who passes it back to Alisson, but he's quickly put under pressure by Mahrez. But quick feet from the Liverpool goalkeeper, and he chips the ball out towards the left-hand side. Divock Origi is going to come on for Liverpool presently as well. The score, Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. I was going to say a few moments ago, you can hear the commentary without the crowd noise, the artificial crowd noise on 5 Live Sports Extra. If you prefer, same commentary from me and Dion, but no added crowd noise. Ball up towards De Bruyne, who's just in front of Pep Guardiola, where he is standing in that blue hooded top. Gundogan is challenged by Firmino, and the ball bounces back to Rodri inside his own half. It's going to be a double change for Liverpool. Origi and Keita as well. Jurgen Klopp towering over Keita. He's got his arm round him, a bit like a quiz show host would to a guest who he's just asking interesting questions about his personal life. And he just needs a little card in his right hand, doesn't he? Here, Liverpool with Henderson playing it forward. Rodri then sends the ball back into his own half, and Manchester City have it again. That frightening opening 10 minutes or so for Manchester City, in terms of the way that they dominated Liverpool. They've just taken their foot off the pedal for a moment or two, but winning comfortably and handsomely. They are here, and after the guard of honour right at the start of the match, which was very well done, and clearly Pep Guardiola had given them the instructions. I want you to applaud hard, give them a great reception. Guardiola himself was part of that. But after that, Manchester City have played hard. But there's a poor ball from Laporte on the edge of his own box to Mane. Mane plays it across. Firmino with a shot that was blocked, and the ball bounces away across the penalty area. Still Liverpool, though. Salah, Oxlade-Chamberlain shoots, blocked by Laporte inside the penalty area, but then sky blue all around him, and City can smuggle the ball away with Mendy, and then Mendy playing it forward towards Mahrez, and Mahrez is over the halfway line. He's got Sterling, he's got De Bruyne, Mendy's joining in the attack as well. Mahrez gives it to De Bruyne on the left hand side. De Bruyne across towards Mahrez, a flick, and then back to De Bruyne, whose low shot skitters wide of the far post by a couple of yards. Goal kick Liverpool, Manchester City lead 3-0. Double change Liverpool. Yeah, purring. City are purring. Mendy's energy, absolutely fantastic, making his way from the 18-yard box of his own goal to the 18-yard box of Liverpool's, trying to get himself a goal, but just showing his manager that, yeah, I can do this job for you. Kevin De Bruyne linking up with Mahrez. Wow, they look sharp tonight. So Wijnaldum and Firmino are the next two Liverpool players to be substituted and replaced by Origi, who's going to play through the middle, and Keita takes Wijnaldum's place in midfield. So that's 3 of the permitted 5 changes that Jurgen Klopp can make. One of them was made at half-time, so he still has 2 slots left. Manchester City leading Liverpool by 3-0, and very good value for it. After Liverpool had their early chances, Salah hit a post, but from the moment that Manchester City won the penalty, really City have been all over them. 1 or 2 just lapses from City over the course of the last couple of minutes or so at the back, but they've still got it. Walker then sends it long and high into the Liverpool half. Van Dijk gets up ahead of Sterling to win the header forward, but it's straight back to the sky blue shirts. Foden, now Mendy making good ground. Foden's made a run, but the ball goes infield to De Bruyne. Henderson nips it away from him, and the ball bounces out of play. He can't keep it in, Henderson, and it's a throw into Manchester City halfway inside the Liverpool half. Yeah, I think one of the main differences I've seen tonight is when a City player has the ball, the amount of options he's got, the movement in and out like little ants. Every time somebody gets the ball, they've got 3 or 4 light blue shirts that are available for the ball to their feet or into the gaps. Liverpool haven't had that tonight. Dion Dublin with us for the commentary on 5 Live tonight here at the Etihad. Premier League Golden Boot winner, England international. Mike Dean's just keeping Pep Guardiola honest down there, just pulling him back into the coaching area. He's keeping the water bottles away from him. It's been like the sideshow that tonight, hasn't it? Mike Dean and Pep Guardiola, more patting of one another going on. And then Liverpool with Robertson. Henderson, high ball forward towards Mane in between 2 City players. Garcia goes to ground, but he headed it away. Keita. Now again, Liverpool on the left-hand side. Henderson back out there to the left. Keita uses Robertson. Then back to Naby Keita. And then the ball swung across field by Sadio Mane, with Manchester City leading by 3-0. It looks as though Liverpool are heading to only their 2nd Premier League defeat of the season, and it is July after all, The ball's headed away near the right corner of the penalty area. Bounces to Robertson. And then Keita up against Mahrez. And Liverpool, this is as sustained a period of possession as they've had inside the Manchester City box for some time. Salah lays it off to Origi, whose shot is blocked from the angle inside the box. Liverpool coming again. Keita, this is an improvement by the new champions. Robertson again down the left-hand side. Robertson's ball into the near post. Garcia swings a right-footed it, and the ball goes high and behind for a corner.
Now this is what I'd expect from Liverpool. They've actually been embarrassed in the first half. They've come out and they've just started in the last couple of minutes to play a bit of football, keeping it, more options on the ball. They've been in City's final third for the past, half a minute or so, looking more like Liverpool.
Yeah, I think more embarrassed by the first period of the second half. Here's the corner then. Alexander-Arnold in, but it's headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Rodri, nodded back into the box by Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then bounces up for Garcia to hoist it away to the halfway line, where Fabinho heads it to Alexander-Arnold out there on the Liverpool left, but City have won it back, and the ball forward towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne now against Fabinho. De Bruyne plays in Sterling, right side of the area, back onto his left foot. There's the finish. It's 4-0 to Manchester City, and Liverpool, the new champions, are being well beaten here by Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, and that fourth goal, that's the least they deserve.
Yeah, it is, and the telltale sign to that goal, what tells me that City are on it and Liverpool aren't, is that battle, that battle just then. The ball bounced twice. Trent Alexander could have dealt with that twice. The ball bounced twice. Mahrez out-muscled him. Then he picked a pass, and then Rodri picked a pass to De Bruyne. And what does De Bruyne do? He always picks the right pass. Sterling's there on his right foot, corner of the 6-yard box, fakes to shoot, comes inside, gets a bit of luck, yes, but they've deserved that little bit of luck. They've been far better.
Manchester City 4, Liverpool 0, and we've still got over a quarter of the match to play. Liverpool kick off, but this looks so out of keeping with the season that we've seen. It's okay, they've got the title in the bag, but they've been taken apart by Manchester City here tonight. Long ball forward from Alexander-Arnold, but an offside flag is up, and it's a free kick to Manchester City halfway inside their own half.
They're allowed a blip. Are they allowed a blip?
I think they're allowed a blip.
They've been so good this season. This doesn't look like I'm watching Liverpool at all. If it wasn't for the names on the backs of these players, I wouldn't recognise this side as a Liverpool team that have just won the league.
So 4-0 down. The 3-0 defeat at Watford was probably a bigger shock because of the circumstances here. However, talk about putting a marker down for the future battles between these sides. Manchester City have certainly done that, and they lead 4-0 with power to add. Gundogan inside his own half. You can just imagine the message, Dion, from Pep Guardiola before the match, how he wanted tonight to pan out, and that's exactly how things have unfolded.
Yeah, and the motivation, John, to, for the guard of honour as well. Let's clap these three. They're champions. You're not champions. You clap your hands for the champions. You're nowhere near them.
Well, he did say to us, Jurgen Klopp, last week, I was on one of those Zoom conferences, and this was the night after the 5-0, and Liverpool were going to play Crystal Palace the next day. This was last week. Jurgen Klopp did say to us, he said, I was watching Manchester City last night. I can't believe we are 20-odd points better off than they are. Here's Mendy crossing from the left-hand side. Foden dives for it. I think he did get his head to it, but couldn't head it goalwards. Just got a glance on it. It's kept in play on the far side.
He'd have done well to get anything on that at all. It was absolutely whipped in on the half volley from Mendy near post, and Foden, I think he had his eyes closed.
Here's Gundogan now to the left-hand side. Mendy taking it on into the full-back position. Mendy's low ball across. Fabinho on the stretch to clear it away. Bounces away for Henderson up towards Origi, and Origi now. He's all on his own over on the right-hand side here against Laporte. Went on the inside, then the outside, but Laporte got a foot in, and the ball bounced away to Rodri.
Yeah, I was expecting Origi's one-on-one there with Laporte, and I'm thinking, he's just warming up. He's going to tell him what to do. He's going to say, take him on. I didn't see any reaction at all from Klopp. No arms flailing anywhere. He let him do what he's got to do. He didn't get it right. Bit of encouragement.
The fourth goal has been given at the moment as an Oxlade-Chamberlain own goal. Sterling's shot. Here's Foden now. Foden crossing. Sterling on the far side. Van Dijk was there with him, and Van Dijk was able to get the crucial touch. He did shoot goalwards, Sterling.
Yes,
seemed on target to me.
Yes, you know what? I've actually seen a replay, and I think it might have been going wide.
Going wide?
I think it might have been going wide. But on this occasion here, he's through in goal, on goal again, and he could finish first time. If you get chances, you've got to take them. And I think Raheem Sterling could have a hat-trick tonight if he was taking those chances first time.
Officially, though, it's just the one goal. So De Bruyne with a penalty, Sterling, Foden, and an Oxlade-Chamberlain own goal. He slid in Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Sterling's shot hit him and deflected into the net. 20 minutes or so to go. James Milner is sent out to warm up. He's recovered from his little hamstring problem, and Minamino as well, with the yellow bib on down in front of us. Manchester City leading Liverpool by 4-0. Liverpool with a high ball to Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. Foden puts in the challenge, turns and wins a throw-in off Alexander-Arnold.
I can just see City are just sitting in there. There's a 5-4-1. And they're saying to Liverpool, come on then, beat us, because they know that Liverpool aren't on it tonight. They're not as sharp as they normally are, so they just haven't got that zippy pass in to go and play through the triangles and take City apart. City know that, and they're just letting them give the ball back.
So drinks break time, Dion. Manchester City leading Liverpool by 4-0. I must say, I wasn't quite sure what to expect tonight. Just the circumstances. We didn't know what the teams would be at that stage. Both named strong teams. But
I've got to say, John, I didn't expect this.
How surprising.
Yeah, I didn't expect this. I knew that City would come out flying. I expected Liverpool to come out flying. Maybe a 3-2, maybe a 3-3, 4-2, I don't know. I knew there'd be goals, but I didn't realise that City would be scoring all of them. They'd be so dominant, and Liverpool would be so off it.
Yeah, just seeing a replay, I think that is the right call. Sterling was trying to bend it in, but the sliding Oxlade-Chamberlain deflected it in. So 4-0 it is. By the way, just while we've got the drinks break going on here, just to point you out to a programme that you might like to listen to this weekend that is on both Radio 2 and on 5 Live, Dion. I think you'd be interested as well.
Go on then.
Saturday night, to mark what is the 30th anniversary on Saturday of England's World Cup semi-final against West Germany at Italia 90. We have a programme which is being presented by Gabby Logan. It's been put together by Mike Williams, who you might be familiar with from Radio 2. It's called Passion, Penalties and Pavarotti. It's at 8 o'clock Saturday night on Radio 2, and it's here on 5 Live at 11 o'clock on Saturday night. And you'll find it on BBC Sounds as well if you're busy this Saturday night. But I had to listen to it this morning. It's great fun.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Another one of those shows that just will keep you gripped.
Yeah, it's got
to the very end.
It's got one of my very favourite Chris Waddle stories in it as well.
Is it repeatable?
It is. It's very repeatable.
That's very rare.
We're going to see Manchester City as the drinks break is over. Otamendi is waiting to come on. But in fact, Walker is being replaced by João Cancelo. Otamendi, I guess, will be on very shortly. Indeed, he's now coming down, Otamendi, for the next Manchester City change. Big matches coming up for Manchester City. Played Southampton on Sunday night, but obviously the FA Cup semi-final against Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. There'll be the second leg against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Still waiting to find out definitively where that game will play, whether it'll be here or whether it'll be in Porto or Guimarães. I must say, it sounds like with the plans for European travel, you would think that it would be more likely to be here than in Portugal, but we'll see. Obviously events will dictate. Liverpool coming forward, ball played into Origi, who's strongly challenged. Ball bounces away, but I think the challenge was a good one in that it took the ball as well as Origi. And indeed, Liverpool come again. Here's Salah into the penalty area. Salah away from Foden, left-footed ball looking for Origi. That was neck height. Did well to get it down. Left side of the box. Mane goes for a shot. That's blocked by Cancelo, and the ball bounces out into the Manchester City right-back area. Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola having quite a frank exchange of views down there, with Mike Dean in between them. Offside flag against Mane. And what's all that about?
I think Pep was looking for a penalty.
And Jurgen Klopp disagreed.
Yes.
And, so that was that challenge.
Yeah, it was Laporte on Origi. And Origi goes down. I think Laporte gets it in between his legs, but he falls to the ground quite dramatically. I think the referee got that one right.
Yeah, got the ball. He did get the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, he got the ball between his legs. He did, yes.
Yeah. Which is not always absolutely definitive.
No, absolutely not. What's clear to see tonight is the way that Liverpool play. You need lots and lots of energy, and tonight they don't seem to have it. Their positional play isn't quite right. The quality of the individuals and what they normally play up to and what standard they play up to isn't there tonight.
No, and it is a night when it does look as though there's 20 odd points between them, but in Manchester City's favour, not in Liverpool's. Liverpool will be at home to Aston Villa on Sunday. That's 5 live commentary match as well, as indeed is Manchester City's game at Southampton, which is also on BBC One, by the way, one of the live matches on BBC One in the Premier League. Liverpool coming forward, ball into the penalty area. Mane tried to take it on, but it was cleared away by Laporte just outside the 6-yard box. And Nico Williams is going to come on as well for Liverpool. Cross from the left-hand side from Keita. Mendy comes across, heads it away. De Bruyne's there on the edge of his own penalty area, got underneath it and thumped it high and clear. In fact, so high it disappeared out of our view for a moment or two. By the roof of the tier above. So Alexander-Arnold makes way for Nico Williams, who gets another Premier League appearance. He came on for his debut in the league last week against Crystal Palace and did very well, actually, as his team were winning 4-0. Tonight he comes on here at Manchester City with his team losing 4-0. And here is Nico Williams, the young Welshman, playing it back to Henderson, and then again to Williams, swinging it in right-footed. Salah in the box, took it down brilliantly, curling shot, but a comfortable save for Ederson dropping to his right.
Yeah, Ederson was expecting that one. He was on his near post at first, and then he seen Salah just cut onto his left, and he just edged to the right, and he knew exactly what Salah was trying to do.
Into the last 15 minutes, Manchester City leading Liverpool by 4-0. Mentioned the commentaries at the weekend. This is actually the latest of a series of 10 Premier League commentaries in 7 days we're bringing to you at the moment. We've got all of the matches on Sunday, 5 Live's Premier League Sunday, 4 of them. Manchester United, Bournemouth at 3 o'clock on Saturday. It is an intensive period of live football, as you will be aware. Manchester City going to bring on both Bernardo Silva and Otamendi very shortly. And Liverpool with the ball halfway inside their own half. Van Dijk forward towards Mane, who drops deep, and now being brought forward by Keita, who passes it through the middle. It bounces off Laporte to Nico Williams, turns infield, turns away from Foden. Henderson then puts his foot on it, drives a high pass from right to left, which is taken down by Robertson on his left instep into the Manchester City right back area, and then Liverpool via Robertson and Oxlade-Chamberlain go back towards the halfway line. Henderson back to Fabinho, and Jordan Henderson flicks a pass between Gundogan and De Bruyne. Keita now to the edge of the area, Salah into the box, but that bounces away as Laporte comes in with the challenge, and Foden passes it away to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne drifts inside. Jordan Henderson then claims that he was blocked by Keita. Referee Taylor agrees, and we'll see this next Manchester City double change. Laporte is being replaced by Otamendi. And Bernardo Silva will... replaced by number 30, Nicholas Otamendi. And it's Raheem Sterling who will make way. Could easily have had 2 goals or more tonight, Raheem Sterling.
Quite easily.
Also, for City substitution, number 7, Raheem Sterling is replaced by number 20, Bernardo Silva.
So Bernardo Silva takes up a position initially, at least, on the left-hand side where Sterling was. And now, who's going to play centrally now? Well, Foden has gone in there.
He's gone down the middle, Foden.
Yeah, he has. Here's Rodri. Let's see if he stays there. Ball with Mahrez on the right-hand side. Beg his pardon, it's played forward by Cancelo. Now the ball is deflected back to the edge of the area. Williams, Oxlade-Chamberlain will take possession, and then Keita Forward from him to Robertson, and Robertson now finds support on his left from Sadio Mane. Ball with Mane is crossed, and a stretch in the middle inside the 6-yard box from Ederson. Comfortable catch.
They do get back quick, City, don't they? They do recovery runs very, very quick, and there's always at least 8 players back there defending, helping their goalkeeper out, regimented in the amount of work they get through.
Yeah, Foden's going to play through the middle, Dion, for the time being at least. Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side, up against Nico Williams. And referee Taylor says it deflected off Bernardo Silva first. He disagrees with that. Waves an expressive left hand towards referee Taylor. Throw into Liverpool, halfway inside their own half. Nico Williams waiting to take this. If you just switched on the score, Manchester City 4, Liverpool 0. And Liverpool, to an extent, being brought back down to earth here by Manchester City this evening. They'll have enjoyed this. All City fans will have enjoyed this scoreline as the ball deflects back at the Liverpool penalty area, but Fabinho will take it down and see it back to Alisson, who passes it out from the back. So Liverpool, who've lost 2 of their last 70 Premier League matches, one of those was against Manchester City here last season. De Bruyne wins it back on the halfway line, finds Mahrez. Foden making a run, Mahrez still on the edge of the area, beats Fabinho and then shoots wide from a slight angle, wide of the foot of the post.
Now, if I'm making a run like Foden's made a run down the right there, if you don't hit the target, if you don't score, I'm going down your throat for not passing to me. It's a great bit of skill, bit of a lollipop, goes past Fabinho, but he had 2 options either side, decided to go himself. On this occasion, didn't get it quite right, but it's wave after wave at the moment.
Yeah, if I was one of your teammates, Dion, that would have frightened me. The prospect of that.
I think I might have gone down anybody's throat if they hadn't scored.
Yes, very much. Here it remains 4-0 though. Nico Williams turns and gives it back to Jordan Henderson. I can just imagine what's going to be said post-match here. You can imagine it from both sides, can't you?
Yeah, it's Klopp has the right to have a go at his players tonight. They're completely off it.
Van Dijk with a long ball forward, but it will bounce through to Ederson. But to what extent is that understandable and excusable?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, John. The other thing is maybe he says, listen lads, that's gone now, let's just get our head on it.
Here's another pass towards De Bruyne on the edge of the area, who heads the ball wide. It drops. Alisson had come out of his goal. It was fired across from the right hand side, and De Bruyne, twisting on the edge of the area, tried to head it goalwards but just headed it wide.
I mean, he's got acres there. He's heading this ball on the 18-yard line, and Alisson is nowhere. Alisson's on the penalty spot.
There could easily be more goals in this game.
There still might be, John. There still might be.
4-0 as it is. Jurgen Klopp turning away with his arms crossed. It'll still hurt this.
What happens when you're in the situation that Liverpool are in? Your body and your brain don't seem to be clicking. That's what happens. They don't seem as sharp as they normally are. Options aren't there. The passing's not quite on it. And when you're playing against someone like City, you can be made to look stupid if you're not playing at the top of your game. That's exactly what's happened tonight.
Liverpool lose it on the far side, so Manchester City have got it back. And Minamino is going to come on as that'll be the final Liverpool change. So 4-0 it is. Liverpool failing to score away from home again. This would be in amongst all of the records, as the ball is played back to Alisson, who actually slices it as he's put under pressure.
See, John, that's embarrassing. That is terrible play from Van Dijk. It's a terrible ball back to his keeper. And then Alisson's got a rush on his side. It's bouncing and bobbling into his chest. You've got to give your keeper a chance of clearing it first time. That's not like Van Dijk at all. His pass appreciation is normally 100%.
City take the throw. De Bruyne, Mahrez is there as well. It's cleared away. Henderson then rather scuffs a pass to the left-hand side, where Robertson will play it for, but Robertson hits Rodri with his pass, and then Bernardo Silva is able to chest the latest Robertson pass down on the halfway line. Yep, lots of food for thought for both teams with this scoreline. Mendy to Mahrez. Imagine a Manchester City crowd in here would be absolutely lapping this up as De Bruyne plays the ball infield, but the referee's brought it back actually for an earlier foul in the as the move built up. And that's it for Sadio Mane, who will be replaced by Takumi Minamino.
Sadio Mane.
And
he's replaced number 82.
And we will see Minamino, who's yet to score for Liverpool since his move here in January from RB Salzburg. Sadio Mane slaps hands with Minamino, gets a little slap as well on the hand from Jurgen Klopp, standing there towering on the edge of the 6-yard area. It's Manchester City's free kick to resume. Just over 5 minutes of the 90 to play. Mendy flights it to the edge of the box. Bernardo Silva is underneath it, but Fabinho is there as well. And then Nico Williams is caught by Bernardo Silva as he cleared it downfield, and it's a free kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Klopp might have to go down the route of, listen lads, this is out of the way now. You're absolutely woeful tonight, nowhere near City. Don't let it happen again. I'm giving you this one, that's it. And then let's get back to the drawing board and back to our standards. This won't do.
Yeah, they can still break all manner of records. Could still win all of their home matches. They could top Manchester City's 100 points even with this defeat. They could set a new record mark. But this certainly will leave a bitter taste in the mouth, even though they've secured the title. I think the correct phrase would be that they are now champions-elect, wouldn't it?
Yes.
They weren't champions-elect.
Absolutely, yes.
I was thinking about this on the way home. It's just the President of the United States is the President-elect when he's been elected.
Exactly. Isn't the clue in the title?
Yes, yeah. So here is Keita near the halfway line. Keita playing it in to the edge of the box to Origi. Origi on his left foot turns it to the left-hand side. It's fired in by Robertson. It bounces down. Minamino is there, but it bounces away for Ederson to fall onto the ball to his right.
Yeah, nothing's falling for Liverpool at all. It's a great balling actually from Robertson. Better from Origi, holding the ball up, being secure for his team, but anything that's bobbling about, whoever it falls to, seems to be a light blue shirt every time.
Yeah. So 4-0 to Manchester City. BBC Radio 5 Live as the ball is sent away downfield, but Alisson's able to field that himself. Tomorrow night, 5 Live Sport, the Friday Football Social. Gabi Agbonlahor and Matt Jarvis will be among the guests for Darren Fletcher and Jermaine Genus. Ball curled down the right-hand side. Oxlade-Chamberlain will do well to keep that in. He has kept it in. He's up against Mendy now to the byline, and then Mendy puts in the challenge, and it's behind, loops high behind into the canvas. Over the seats for a corner to Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the fullback's job. That's Mendy's first job. Do not let crosses come into your box. Even though he's great going forward, great at crossing, really gets himself as many assists as possible. But when you stop crosses, that's your job done.
So corner from the right to be taken by Robertson. So it'll be an in-swinger, just steps away and then delivers it towards the back post. Ederson comes for it, gets a fist to it ahead of Van Dijk, and the ball is kept in next to the corner flag and cleared up towards the halfway line. Jurgen Klopp's put his hands on his head. Manchester City are breaking purposefully. De Bruyne passes the ball almost into the path of Rodri. Henderson just got there and was able to turn it away from next to the corner flag. Liverpool still deep inside their own defensive third. Keita has been dispossessed of the ball. Manchester City forced back towards the halfway line, and a foul on Cancelo and a free kick to Liverpool over there inside the Liverpool half.
Yeah, Henderson must have ran 80 yards there to help his team out. He did, he kept it in, he was strong, he was under pressure, turns it round the corner, but then Liverpool give a free kick away.
4-0 Manchester City in control as we head towards the end of the 90 minutes here. Otamendi. Ball out towards the right-hand side that Cancelo can't keep in, and it's nodded infield from beyond the line, so it is a throw into Liverpool on the halfway line. Yeah, mention tomorrow night, Gabi Agbonlahor and Matt Jones, obviously the Charlton-Millwall match tomorrow night. Charlton, who've done very well since the restart. We've got the first legs of the League One playoff semi-finals as well tomorrow evening on the programme. 5 Live Sport on the air till 10:30 tonight, so we'll hopefully bring you some live interviews with Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola and others. before 10:30 this evening. You'll hear them all on the latest 5 Live Football Daily podcast, as well as Chris Wilder and Jose Mourinho after Sheffield United's 3-0 win over Tottenham. Hull City 2-1 winners over Middlesbrough in the Championship. Origi now near the edge of the area, playing it back to Salah. His shot was blocked, bounces back to Oxlade-Chamberlain, works it to Williams on the right-hand side as Liverpool continue to attack, but Mendy was able to block that away. Williams, though, takes up possession again for Liverpool. 1-2 between Williams and Keita. Williams' ball in is cleared away by Otamendi on the edge of the area, and the ball loops out of play for a throw into Liverpool down the right.
Yeah, that's a better spell from Liverpool. Just a few little triangles there between Williams and Oxlade-Chamberlain, looking just a little bit sharper. Yes, it's too little too late, but at least they're showing a little bit of movement.
90 minutes almost up, 4-0 to Manchester City. Williams' deep cross right across the penalty area bounces down and will be cleared away by Cancelo. So even though City were beaten by Chelsea last Thursday night in what was a very decent game, very good comeback by Chelsea, they have been unstoppable since the restart here at the Etihad, with the 3-0 win over Arsenal, 5-0 over Burnley, and 4-0 over Liverpool tonight, and 4 minutes of added time to be played before Liverpool can be put out of their misery here.
Yeah, I can see Jordan Henderson's getting very frustrated now, because he's getting brushed off the ball a lot, and City have just dominated this game, and I can just see him boiling up. He's having to go at the referee because things aren't going right, and that's what happens.
Ball hit long downfield by Ederson. Williams is underneath it for Liverpool and heads it out of play next to Riyad Mahrez, who will take the throw in for Manchester City, level at the edge of the Liverpool box. Mahrez just waiting for Foden to make the run. The goals tonight: De Bruyne penalty, Raheem Sterling and Phil Foden in the first half, and then Sterling's shot deflected into his own net by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for the fourth. Just one goal in the second half, but for that period late on in the first half, Dion, Manchester City were just too good for Liverpool.
Yeah, they were, and you mentioned it already. It looked like they had that 20-odd point lead and gap, and they were the champions. I'm definitely putting this down to a blip. Liverpool's performance, it's been way off the mark. None of their players can come out of this game with any credit whatsoever.
Oxlade-Chamberlain playing it forward for Origi to make the run down into the left back position. Origi back towards Salah. Now back to Williams, takes a touch with his right foot, comes inside. De Bruyne was there as well, though. Williams able to find Henderson. It's been quite bright actually, Williams, since he's come on. And now Salah into the box. Oxlade-Chamberlain with the cross, but it's deflected behind. Got his shins in the way. Otamendi. It's another Liverpool corner.
Yeah, look how many players are back though for City, all in formation, all ready for anything that's thrown at them. Absolutely fantastic.
Raheem Sterling named as the sponsors man of the match. Corner for Liverpool from the right-hand side. Williams will take this, so an outswinger. Here it is, high towards the back post. I think it went out of play. Yes, it did. So it's a goal kick to Manchester City.
In and out again, unfortunately. Just hasn't gone for Liverpool at all tonight.
No, they've Manchester City have certainly been more hungry for it tonight. A week since Liverpool were confirmed as the champions, Manchester City since then, after that defeat, after seeing their title taken away from them, have got back into action, won through to the FA Cup semi-finals, could still win a cup treble this season, and they certainly tonight have looked much more, as they say, on it than Liverpool have. Bernardo Silva wins a header against Williams out of play, throwing to Manchester City near the halfway line.
Yeah, I don't think I'll see this Liverpool team or squad or manager have a performance like this again.
Well, that's, from their point of view, certainly to be hoped for. Foden heading it down for Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's ball right across the penalty area, but Mahrez couldn't get there, and Robertson was able to collect it and clear it away downfield. We're in the 4th minute of added time now. Manchester City playing the ball back to Otamendi, and then all the way back to Ederson. Behind Ederson, from our viewpoint, we've got some very satisfied looking Manchester City fans watching on the video wall. Gundogan turning the ball forward into the Liverpool half. Mendy touches it back to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva then back to Mendy, and then Rodri. And Mendy again through the middle. Mahrez with a touch, rides the challenge away from Williams into the box on the left hand side. Still Mahrez shoots, beats Alisson at his near post, flicked the foot of the post on its way in, and that is 5-0 to Manchester City. Well, what a sobering night for the new champions. The old champions Manchester City have swept them aside, and it's 5-0.
That's an amazing bit of skill. Mahrez just round the corner to Foden. Foden leaves it in his place, and Mahrez is off. Leaves all these Liverpool players in his wakes. He's on the angle. He's going towards the edge of the 6-yard box on an angle. Shouldn't really score on the near post against a keeper of Alisson's quality, and it just goes to show that Liverpool are way off it. Get back on the training pitch, get your head down, and let's see exactly what you can do. This is
not confirmed yet. The goal's been looked at for a possible handball. As the ball was played, Foden it was, who was on the ground as... no, the goal is ruled out. Back to 4-0, as you were. Handball by Foden. But there is the final whistle. 4-0 it is after VAR ruled out what would have been a 5th goal for Manchester City. So there we are, 3 goals in the first half. The De Bruyne penalty, Sterling and Foden. And then the Sterling shot that was deflected in by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for an own goal, the only goal of the second half. And Liverpool tonight, the new champions, given a guard of honour. But that's all they've been given here tonight. Manchester City, comprehensive winners, 4-0 against Liverpool, the final score.
Yeah, men against boys for me, John, tonight. Man City were just scintillating. Liverpool, the only thing about Liverpool tonight was the colours. None of the players played like Liverpool players. Yes, they are champions. Yes, they've had their celebrations, but it did show tonight. I am putting this down to a blip. That's it. Next time we see Liverpool, they'll be on it.
Thank you, Dion. Manchester City 4, Liverpool 0.
A guard of honour at the Etihad, but not necessarily a changing of the guard in English football, not based on that incredible performance by Manchester City. 4-0 winners over Liverpool. We'll dissect the game. We'll talk about Phil Foden's fantastic performance, but let's start with the story of the game with our correspondent John Murray.
Well, a 4-0 win for Manchester City, and the evening began with a guard of honour that was extremely respectful from Manchester City. Pep Guardiola and his coaches and all of the squad members formed 2 lines either side of the tunnel as Liverpool came out, the new champions. They've taken Manchester City's title away. And while Liverpool had their chances as they started brightly, Salah and Firmino had efforts saved. Salah hit a post as well when it was 0-0. But then from the midway point of the second half, Manchester City just took it away from Liverpool. Raheem Sterling won a penalty against Joe Gomez. Remember their history from Anfield earlier on this season. Penalty that was tucked away by Kevin De Bruyne. Foden, for the second goal, played it into Sterling, who beat Gomez and scored himself to make it 2-0. The third goal was a delight to watch. Gundogan, Foden to De Bruyne, a 1-2. Superb finish from Foden. In the early part of the second half, it looked like Manchester City could score at will. In the end, there was just the 1 goal in the second half. Sterling's shot that was deflected in by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. But 4-0 the final score, and Liverpool, who have had a week for their first title for 30 years to sink in and celebrate, well, they were quite simply not on their game at all tonight, and Manchester City deserving and big winners, 4-0.
Dion Dublin is with John Murray at the Etihad. It was one of these games, Dion, where you looked at the 2 teams behind them, you looked at the situation, and it was really difficult to know what to expect, but definitely not this.
No goals. I didn't expect goals tonight. I thought there was going to be some, I thought it was going to be, well, I didn't expect 4-0. I knew it was going to be a goal fest, but I thought it might have been a 3-2 or a 3-3 or something. But City just, like I said earlier, Steve, they had their foot on the gas and they just squeezed and squeezed. They got better. Their football got faster and it got scintillating. It was just Liverpool were nowhere near them tonight. Absolutely nowhere near them.
It's a statement, isn't it? Manchester City will have been hurting. They'll have hated having to do that.
Yeah, it is. Without a doubt. But Pep would have said, "Listen, go out there. You don't deserve to be clapped out. You clap Liverpool out. They're the champions. You're not." So as a player, you're thinking, "Wow, I want to be clapped out. I want to be champions." So it is going to hurt. Of course it is. And that tonight was a performance by a team that think, right, yeah, you might be champions, but listen, just look over your shoulder because we'll be there every step of the way. And I'm hoping that Jurgen Klopp will say to his team, "Listen, you've got out your system now. That's it. No more of that rubbish."
It's kind of hard to understand how a team as good as Liverpool can be beaten this comprehensively. But I guess you don't need to be 15-20% off it to get hammered by Manchester City. You could be 1% worse, and we can hear now from Raheem Sterling speaking to Juliet Farrington.
Raheem, what a smile you've got on your face. What were your feelings coming into this match? You gave Liverpool the guard of honour, you gave them the respect, but you were on it from start to finish.
Yeah, it's a credit to them. As I said, Liverpool been amazing all year. We're disappointed we couldn't keep up. And today was the perfect chance to, go out there and have a great battle with them. And I thought we stood up to the challenge.
You were unstoppable, though. You've been unstoppable. I can't even get my words out since the restart. What has that been down to?
Yeah, I said, once you kind of take a break and have time to reflect, and I had went through a little patch where I wasn't scoring for a few games, and this lockdown really gave me time to reflect and relax and kind of get mentally right, and I was raring to come back.
Was it difficult? Was it hard for you when you saw Liverpool take your title away from you?
Yes, we won it twice in a row, and you want to make it 3. But as I said, we weren't up to the level this year, and they've been fantastic. They've only lost, even after today, I think it's their second game. So, they deserve to win it. But we focus on the FA Cup now and the Champions League and try to finish all the Premier League games as strong as possible.
Because you're still in a chance, aren't you? 2 trophies still to finish. Possibly, when you look back at it, 3 trophies this season.
Yeah, it's still possibly can be a great season. It's down to us. And since we've come back in, the managers, told us to switch our focus on, trying to, end on a high. And, these last 2 trophies are what we're aiming for.
OK, finally, end on a high this season. But have you sent a little message for next season out there tonight?
No, so, they've been fantastic this year. And, next season we'll be ready to fight all the way, to May.
Thanks, Raheem, for your time. Thank you for joining us on 5 Live Sport. Cheers now.
They certainly will be ready, Dion, based on that.
Well, that's anything to go by. They could be champions already. They were just, everything about them was good. I said in comms as well that when they have the ball, they seem to have so many options. There's so many passes that they could choose from, and they've got players that can execute those passes as well. Liverpool didn't have that. They had players stood up top, 4 players against City's defence, and they had 4 in defence, and the midfield was completely empty. So City had all the time in the world to play their passes, and when Liverpool had it, they had no time at all. So yeah, difficult night for Liverpool, and one that they will want to forget very quickly.
I think this subplot, Steve, the little Gomez-Sterling subplot was a fascinating part of the evening. For those who don't remember, they had a little dust-up at the end of the game at Anfield in November, and then met up with the England squad the following week, and there was a bit of an incident in the dining room. Gareth Southgate had to take action against that. And remember, actually, the match against Montenegro at Wembley, when Joe Gomez was booed by some England fans when he came onto the field. So to see what happened tonight, and Sterling really gave Gomez a tough time, has won the battle here tonight comprehensively, and I'm sure they won't say, he'll be asked about, they'll talk about it, they'll say there's nothing in it. There was definitely determination.
There was an edge. There was just an edge to the battle. You could see from the kickoff, Steve, that Sterling went straight on to Gomez. Gomez wanted that contact with Sterling, and unfortunately Sterling was on fire tonight. Gomez wasn't on his game whatsoever, but I think he was made to be not on his game tonight by the movement and the finishing and the strength of Raheem Sterling tonight. Very much a professional performance, not getting involved in any fights or scuffles, doing his job, setting up goals, scoring goals.
And Gomez is going to have to deal with that, Steve. He's forging himself an excellent reputation, but But it's almost like it's almost like the kryptonite factor, isn't it, with Sterling?
I guess as well, Dion, from Sterling's point of view, like I don't know what players you had sort of scuffles with in your career, but I bet there's nothing.
Scuffles? What are you talking about? That's out of order.
I bet there's not yet
Where's that
scoring.
List? Okay, where did I
bring it
put
out.
That list?
It's a long one. Scoring a goal is great, I'm sure. But if you play so well against somebody who you maybe haven't got on with in the past that they get subbed off at half time, that's about as good as it gets, surely.
Yeah, it is. It's something. I was the kind of player that's like Raheem Sterling tonight. Just do it. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it afterwards. Just do it. Keep your mouth shut, because your actions will speak louder than anything you can say. And I think Raheem Sterling, he has that kind of dignity. He's now turned into a man, and he's turned into a world-class footballer as well, just by doing that. Let your actions do the talking. And now Gomez is going to think to himself, I've got to put that right next time I play against him.
The three of us were all at Wembley Stadium in what feels like about 6 years ago when Manchester City won the League Cup final. And I remember after the game we were sort of speculating as to who might win Man of the Match, and Phil Foden won Man of the Match. This, I think, John, was a bigger statement from him even than that.
Well, was it? I suppose against Liverpool. I'm thinking he's done it in a cup final at Wembley.
Yes,
done it in a cup final at Wembley.
Full house.
Listen, I think what I've noticed since the restart, and I think we saw glimpses of it before the restart, before the suspension, was that there was an increasing willingness of Pep Guardiola to give him that responsibility, and I think we've seen that since. The little thigh injury that he had did hold that up. Had to miss the game at Stamford Bridge last week, but he's played him in a variety of positions again since the restart, and he's scored himself 4 goals. Could have had more. And David Silva sits on the bench tonight, doesn't come on.
Looks so composed, Steve. To watch him live, you can see how fit he is. You can see the passes that he sees, but he tries them and he executes them. And don't forget, he's playing with, seasoned internationals here, but he doesn't look out of place at all. He looks like this is the place that he has to play his football.
Does he look like he might have found his best position as well?
I don't know what that position is, Steve, because he played on the left, he played on the right, and then he went up, when he went down the middle, and he didn't look out of place or out of position whatsoever. Always finds himself with a bit of time. He doesn't mind a bit of a tussle. He doesn't mind going into areas where he's put under pressure from behind. He just seems to have an all-round respect for the game of football and the players around him.
Do you? I can't remember, Steve, if you were on the night. It was either the Arsenal game or the Burnley game when Pat Nevin was with us, and we were having a similar conversation about Foden. And I said to him, what is his best position? And Pat actually said, he can play anywhere. And I've since heard Guardiola ask the same question and actually give the same answer as Pat did. So he is genuinely adaptable. But does he have to, Dion, pin down a first choice position?
Well, I think yes. Tonight Kevin De Bruyne played all over the place as well, but he's Kevin De Bruyne and he's earned the right to be able to play wherever he wants. I think Foden, for me, on the right hand side, seems to have the vision and the ability to bring people into play, to get crosses in, drop his right shoulder, go onto his left, get in the box at the right times. Just ticks a lot of boxes, Steve.
I think when Guardiola was asked the question the other day about Foden's best position, he said near the box, which doesn't really give anything away.
On the ball's his best position, Steve.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
right, Steve. He did. He said that his finishing was such a part of his game that he did want him in the penalty area.
Well, tonight he looked so composed on the ball, and his finishing was, on it tonight as well. So we just sat here, Steve, in the media section, and Jurgen Klopp's giving an interview, and you've got Jordan Henderson waiting about 10 yards away from his manager. You've got Virgil van Dijk to the left of us and to the left of the tunnel down the touchline giving an interview, and they've both got their arms folded. Their body language is very much, can we just get this done and out the way, please? I want to get on the bus and get home. They've had enough. They've been embarrassed tonight, and you've got Raheem Sterling 10 minutes ago laughing and joking.
John, I'm sure Jordan Henderson will be very frustrated from a Liverpool point of view, but there might be sort of 1% of him that thinks from an England perspective how excited that we should be now, because it's funny I remember when we talked about Foden after that League Cup final, it felt right at the time to say, you know, is the door still open for him for the Euros in what would have been this summer? And I think we all felt that the answer was yes, possibly. He possibly might make the Euros. If you think about it, you know, this was his 8th Premier League start. You'd hope this time next year he will have quadrupled that.
Well, it's funny you should say that. As you were asking the question, Steve, Raheem Sterling, who's been giving interviews down to our left here, actually walked all the way across and walked up to Jordan Henderson, who is his old clubmate, of course, as well at Liverpool, and actually put an arm around him. Jordan Henderson turned around, saw him, put an arm around him as well. So I suspect that not even 1% of Jordan Henderson was thinking about England tonight, but perhaps at some point over where we are in the summer, aren't we?
We are,
at some point in the remainder of the summer, he might think, looking forward to us all operating together for the England team.
Yeah, you know, the Liverpool players will be embarrassed tonight, but they know they've achieved, you know, an amazing thing this season. It's just getting back to that again. It's getting back to those high levels, get the alcohol out the system, get the legs working again, and let's get back to those high standards. This is a lesson tonight in you cannot play in this league against teams like City at 80%, 85%. You just cannot do it.
Yeah, I'll finish the question that I was going to ask before Raheem Sterling appeared for the interview. It only takes a tiny drop-off, doesn't it? You can be beaten heavily by a team as good as Manchester City if you're just a fraction away from where you need to be. You know what?
I think Liverpool might have been beaten by other teams tonight, you know, not as convincingly, not as in they won't have been as embarrassed, but other teams would have beat City tonight with energy and with good football and with intensity, because Liverpool just didn't have it tonight. You know, we know that Liverpool can still win games at 85% and, you know, and tear teams apart, but tonight they had no answer at all.
Manchester City and Liverpool were both, well, Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp specifically, both asked about recruitment actually in their press conferences before the game. It was quite interesting. Jurgen Klopp talked a lot about promoting from within, and Pep Guardiola quite sort of openly admitted that they would need to look at the transfer market. Do you think, Dion, that City are any more than one player away from being back on the same level as Liverpool, i.e. to have another world-class centre-back? Would that just propel them again?
Possibly. I can tell you one thing. I'm just watching Pep now. He's giving out the interviews. He's just walking behind Virgil van Dijk as he gives his interview to the press. He's got his hands in his pocket. Pep looking very, very casual. I can see him now thinking, if I get another 1, 2, maybe even 3 quality players just to keep the pressure on what I've got here. Because if you've got a Man City shirt at the moment, don't think it's your shirt, because he will make sure that you earn that shirt. The amount of work that Kevin De Bruyne got through tonight, Steve, was incredible. And he's possibly the world's best passer at the moment. He knows if he's off it, he's out.
He must have been the outstanding individual player.